Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my wildly handsome co-hosts, John Luke Garofalo and Andrew Cooper. What's up, boys?
What up?
What up, dog?
It's
Good morning.
Friday. That's all
Gotta
I
get
got.
down on Friday.
You know I'm a sucker for some Rebecca Black.
I know you are.
At 6 a.m. in the morning.
Ha-
We got some.
Have you seen her live?
I've never seen Rebecca Black live. I've seen videos, but that's it.
It's bucket list stuff.
One day, a man can dream. We got some people in the chat ready for today's show. Craig over here, TGIF. It's FYF on BSN. OMG.
Very
LOL.
acronymous. LMAO.
Did you know the guys in LMFAO are uncle and nephew?
No.
Get out.
Who are the guys in at LMFAO? Is
You know
that Andy
I don't-
Samberg?
That's Lonely Island.
Oh.
Very close, though. Almost the same thing. But the LMFAO guys, it's a guy and his uncle, if I'm remembering correctly. Unless I'm making that up, and then I just
No.
lied to everyone.
Nope.
Kind of like Migos.
I 100% heard that somewhere, so it is true.
Thanks for fact checking, Coop. I appreciate that.
As our policy is in the show, all rumors are true until proven false. So even ones we create.
Perfect. We're creating that one. We got Tommy in here with a nice little rhyme for us. Said, I'm getting so tired of being left in the dark. Come on, Aaron Rodgers, give us a spark. I know you're good, but you ain't that dope. Just make a decision. You are not the next pope. So stop with the smoke, rub the dark from your eyes. Just end this saga and say your goodbyes. Pack your bags as a Packer. Go fly like a jet or pillage for the Raiders. Stop making us sweat. The QB carousel is waiting to spin, but for it to start up, you have to jump in. Pick a horse in the race. You gave us some names. Now just pick a damn team. Stop playing your games. That was like a little Susie in this morning.
Yeah,
Tommy.
that was clean. There was
My
some
goodness.
internal rhyme in there. It was dramatic. Tommy's just getting better and better at poetry.
This is just his reps.
If you write a poem every day, then you're gonna end up being awesome at it.
One day his collections will be published, and it'll just be like someone will have to go through all of our shows and watch them.
I'm going to be
That'd
scrolling through Audible looking for books, and I'm going to see Morning Poetry narrated by Simon Grunewald. He's just going to
See-
slowly cut all the poems from the morning show and put it out on Audible.
He said he just bought a turtleneck. That's a good start, dude. That's a good start. Next, you need a Kangol, like maybe like a cigarette on one of those like long sticks. What else is good for slam poetry?
Depression.
Oh yeah,
Which
Gotta
is
get
very
that going.
good.
Maybe a little a pencil mustache.
Depression, oppression, all good
Right.
for poetry.
Most of the impressions.
Impression.
Impression, definitely very good.
Bongos, said Tommy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't forget the bongos.
Campfire.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you boys noticed, rocking my hockey gear today. It's a hockey day,
I never noticed anything hockey, Coop.
as you all know. You
Safe to assume.
I know you don't, but I had to wear it today. My Bruins made a big trade. First place Bruins. They've let up 30 fewer goals than any other team, but decided they still need more on defense. They're going all in this year. So they traded away a guy, Craig Smith, who I like him, but he's just kind of a
Craig?
yeah.
Give it to us in football terms.
Craig Smith is like Tyler Boyd, right?
Okay.
And
Now I'm following you.
they
Now you're speaking
acquired
my language.
They acquired Dmitry Orlov and Garnett Hathaway. They also included in the trade a first, second, and third round pick. So that's a good amount.
If you hadn't told me anything else about this conversation and you had just asked me, what does Dmitry Orlov do for a living? I would have said hockey.
You would have said hockey. Yeah, exactly. Or he like poisons people with an umbrella, like like for like Putin, But so Dmitry Orlov, right?
Thanks.
One of those
With
two jobs.
ricin, the poison ricin is
Get
what
it?
he would
The
use
one that he
on an
prefers.
umbrella.
All right, settle down. This is hockey talk. All right.
Spell it out for me even
For
easier.
Vladimir Putin, his anyone that opposes him politically. So Dmitry Orlov, who is a defenseman, I guess the equivalent in the NFL would be like a Christian Wilkins, right? He's very good at times.
Name I know.
A top pairing defenseman, but for the Bruins defense is so good that he can actually be on the second line. That means that the first team goes out when they get tired, he goes out after. And then the guy Garnett Hathaway, he plays the same position as Craig Smith, but he's better defensively. So maybe like a better blocking Tyler Boyd. So
Is everybody Tyler Boyd?
Joey Myers. Yeah, everyone's Tyler Boyd here. No, I'm trying to.
That's a whole
like, who's
league of Tyler Boyds.
Like Alan Lazard, maybe, right? Like he's a Tyler Boyd, but he's better at the gritty stuff. So
Okay,
that's
so like the
trade.
NHL is filled with like that like middling but gritty wide receiver.
Exactly. Like
Gotcha.
the NHL, that's the NHL. It's just like there's a handful of superstars, and then everybody else is just a grinder that still also plays for 10 years. The hockey's so
I feel like I
crazy.
understand it more.
I saw this. There's this guy that's having a breakout. His name's Rasmus Dahlin. He plays for Dustin's Sabres. We'll have to ask Dustin when he gets in. But I looked at him. They're like, oh, he's having his best. He's on pace for 92 points. He's finally breaking out after he's been disappointing and he's underperformed. And I looked at him like, this guy's 22 years old. And how is he underperformed?
The Kyle Pitts of the NHL.
Yeah. Well, I went and looked at it. He's a 5-year veteran at 22 years old. He came into the league.
Dang.
He just turned 18 just in time for like the first season. So 5-year vet, 22 years old.
How does it work in hockey? You go to college?
Here's what they do. They grab you, right? They bring you in and they hand you a pack of cigarettes. And if you can smoke a whole cigarette in one pull, then you're ready for the league. I mean, some kids are ready, like the Eastern European kids are ready at like 16 years old. So yeah, a lot of these guys, like Patrice Bergeron has been in the league for 70 years and he's like still, 35, 37.
It's pretty cool. Well, congratulations to your Bruins for some defensive bolstering.
Maneuvering. Yeah. That's been hockey talk today, guys. Do you guys have anything to throw in hockey wise that you've been meaning to
slap, puck, slidey.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Simon, do you have anything you wanted to add?
Dangle slap selly, boys.
Pucks on net.
Pucks on net.
Cleats up.
Yeah. So there
everything
you go.
I know about hockey, I know from Letterkenny. And so I think I don't know a lot about hockey if we're going to be 100% honest. It's just those two hockey dudes talking in Letterkenny. And that's my entire understanding of the sport of hockey.
I'd go as far as to say if you've seen Letterkenny, then you know a lot about hockey.
Thanks, Coop.
Yeah, that show is. If you want to get into the hockey culture 101, I'd say just go watch Letterkenny. And then
God, that show's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if I think about it, Simon, if you've seen Letterkenny and you watch at least some playoff hockey every year, then you're kind of in, right?
Hey, I just got the approval. I'm in.
Yeah,
guys, it is that
we got to get you in. We got to get you in next.
We'll see.
I'm already there.
Oh, he's there. You said Tyler Boyd once, and he was like, I get it now. Yeah. It is that time of morning, everyone. We got the news. We got the stories. You just got to bring your own breakfast. BYOB, welcome to the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And guys, we got to start with one specific quote from Adam Schefter talking about our friend Aaron Rodgers, the room in which he stayed. So we found out yesterday that Aaron Rodgers emerged from his darkness retreat and probably is close to making a decision. To get a little more insight in what his darkness retreat was, Adam Schefter tweeted out, the room in which Aaron Rodgers spent his time is a partially underground, hobbit-like structure with 300 square feet of space, devoid of light, with a queen bed, a bathroom, and a meditation-like mat on the floor.
We gotta go.
Now, okay.
Have you guys seen the images of this?
No, I have not.
Oh, I have to see it.
I'm pulling them up now.
Got to. I sent them to you yesterday, so you might be able to find them. They yeah, we got to go. I'm convinced. How much does this cabin cost?
I could live with that. But like I would want some sort of like no, the whole purpose is to like really separate yourselves, right? So the film would defeat the purpose, but I'm not sure. I think I'd go bananas in there. I think I'd go absolutely bananas.
It was dark the whole time? No. How do you pee?
In the dark, probably.
You can find, there are people who can't see and they pee.
Well, it looks like you walk outside to where you pee.
Did say there was a restroom in the place, but I don't know. I haven't seen the pictures.
It doesn't sound like much of a darkness retreat if you're walking outside to pee all the time.
Oh, that might be the front door. Is that little thing the front door to this thing?
I don't think there's a back door, so probably.
Well, it's got to.
I'm guessing they turn those little candles off.
It's got to have 2 means of egress, or else it's not up to code.
Oh yeah, sure. That is the entrance to the underground cabin.
Oh, it's underground. Oh man, wow! Look at, yikes. You kind of just feel around. I mean, you could take you could take a digger off the corner of that tub, and it's over. Nobody finds you for 4 days.
Do what?
I have no idea what you just said.
Me neither.
If you
what does that mean?
Fall and hit your head on the corner of that tub, you're done.
Oh.
Because you're in the complete darkness. For a place that you're supposed to be walking around in the complete darkness, there's a lot of different like small rugs to trip over, huh?
It's just a death trap.
I thought you were going to say there's a lot of lights, and I was going to be like, I bet they turn those on for the picture, but I'm not positive. Yeah. Can you imagine they show 12 pictures of the place where he stayed, and they're all just solid black?
That'd be really funny.
Hard to argue.
Imagine at least for me, this would create intense paranoia if they didn't show you the room before they put you in there. Like if they blindfolded you, brought you in there, closed the door, made it completely dark, and then you took the blindfold off and you were just in this undefined space that you haven't seen for the next 4 days, I'd be freaking myself out.
The last thing I would do before I shut the door is I would just be like, oh, a spider, and then shut it.
Luckily, I'm not scared of spiders, so good luck. You could be like, oh your own feelings.
I'll tell you what, though, dude, you're not scared of spiders, but after 3 days in the dark, you're going to be doing so much thinking about that spider.
Look, the unending passage of time and your impending death.
Yeah, you're going to be glad that spider's there.
Shut the door.
Me and that spider are going to be
Goodbye, Simon.
Try not to
After you're done with this, there will be 3 less days of your life. Bye.
What?
I do want to hear what he has to say. Is he going to go on like?
He went on Pat McAfee yesterday.
He did.
Yeah. That's where we got a lot of this info was from him on Pat McAfee yesterday.
Oh, cool. I figured like coming out of there, he's either going to quit football or throw 60 touchdowns this year. Like there's no in between.
Yeah. Probably quit. I feel like after 4 days in there that I just can't imagine not having an epiphany. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you're not having an epiphany in there, then I don't know what you're doing. That is so much time just to be alone with your thoughts. It could be the wrong epiphany. I'm not saying it's right, but like you
as much as we're making fun of him, I do like the retreat. Like I think that's a cool thing that he's doing.
I think it is cool. But my retreat would be a little less aggressive. Like I think I could get away with like just not having my phone for 4 days and maybe just like going fishing and stuff. Like he's taking it to such a crazy level. Or maybe like
to each their own, right?
Couple hours with the lights off.
I would love to try it one day. It sounds like a challenge and like there might be real benefits to doing it. I just think it's funny that it's just funny, man. The Aaron Rodgers to make his free agency decision, locks himself in a room for 4 days. Like,
it's hilarious. I want to do just the narrative around it.
It's funny. Like,
it is funny.
Yeah, and I guess you do have to do it because I just said a couple hours, but you have to do it longer than you could sleep, right? Like it's not. You can't just do it and like sleep the whole time. You have to. It has to be a minimum of, I don't know. What do you think? 16 hours?
I'd say 24. Do a full day.
Yeah.
Go in there in the morning. Then when you wake up the next day, head on home. Get on out of there.
I think that's pretty reasonable for going into.
George said he
cabin
could make
and
it
sitting in
45 minutes tops without his phone.
I feel the same way, George. Like I got stuff to do.
Tommy in here saying I'm gonna start renting out my closets for darkness retreats. You in? No, I'm good. I don't. Every morning it's a mostly darkness retreat. So Tommy needs to get ready
out of
in the
your
morning.
yeah. So he's got to pee.
Half awake Tommy opens the door and you just hand him a shirt and him some pants. Then he closes it. He really
he folds it for you.
It's a darkness retreat, but one of the requirements is you have to pick out his outfit every morning. So he just gets a personal stylist of varying qualities.
Is he in the closet or are you?
The darkness retreat is inside the closet. So
are you both in the closet?
Well, he opens the door to get his clothes, but I don't think he's in the closet.
Oh, we're in his closet. I thought he was in your closet.
No,
that's why I was getting confused.
No, we're in his closet. He's starting to rent out his closets for darkness retreats.
I see.
Nobody's going in my closet.
That's what I was confused. Your closet's pretty big, so
it is, but no one's allowed in. It's for me.
Okay.
You can go in there.
Just
there has to be enough room.
Whoops.
There has to be enough room to do the worm. I just meant nobody sleeps in there.
I see.
An air mattress wouldn't leave that room.
Is that what you use it for? Do you do the worm in there?
No, but what if I need to? That space has to be available at all times.
You gotta have a dedicated worm space, yeah.
Well, yeah.
And in the closet's where it goes.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers, I hope that the darkness retreat helped. I don't think he gave I believe all he said on Pat McAfee yesterday was around that he's contemplating everything, essentially. Again, I think just bringing up, getting the attention here, bringing up this conversation. Until we get some concrete news, I'm not really paying too much attention.
Exactly. Plus, forget concrete news. Speaking of non-concrete news, there's something that I wanted to bring up that I love when stuff like this leaks. Listen to this one. Remember when Daniel Jones, they said that he asked for $45 million and then he fired his agent or whatever? The new rumor leaked by Chuck Knox is that NFL Insider says Daniel Jones never asked for $45 million. That was a lie leaked by Jones's former CAA to make Jones look bad.
They tried to make him look like Dr. Evil. They tried to have Daniel Jones over there, and I'll have $1 billion.
Dude,
now I will say this. I did see this yesterday, and I could not trust the source because they didn't sort anything, and it was a Giants fan who's got 2,300 followers.
Exactly. He's got that's the thing is that it's a Giants fan with a that paid for Twitter Blue, right? And posted that and just said NFL Insider, but at the same time,
yeah, it's a better story.
I haven't seen anybody come out and say that it's not true yet. So
there you have it.
There you have it. Well, as soon as someone says that it's not true, then we'll report on that as well.
As is policy here.
As his policy. I love the idea that a random account can just throw out baseless accusations and Coop's well, what do you have to say?
Now you come on and say your part. Yeah, we just need to hear from Daniel Jones himself or the Giants or from whatever agency that was.
Coop's going to come on and be like, Ryan Fitzpatrick is the secret leader of the free world. I saw it from an account on Twitter, and until Ryan Fitzpatrick responds,
he's the head of the cabal.
And you're very welcome to come on our show. And
I don't know if we could handle Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think it would be his show after a 30-minute segment.
I think it might be his show, but I think that might be a step in the right direction for the show.
Probably.
Imagine he just comes in, takes over the show, and it says, "We're kind of tight." I'd
see you, Ryan. Thanks for having me on.
I'd hang in the chat.
We click on the link the next day, and none of the links are valid. We start watching. It's just Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's
with his friends.
It's just him.
Of playing all of our games.
He's doing all of our games and doing it better. We got NKC in here. What's up, NKC?
He gets the Weddle second guess.
Every
show
time.
Off.
Yeah, he would though. I mean, he's super smart, right? Got 48 on the Wonderlic. Went to Harvard.
Supposedly, that's what I've heard, that he went to Harvard.
Went to Harvard. You know what other NFL player went to Harvard?
Your mom.
She did. Smart, Sherry. Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate.
I was trying to think. I would have never pulled that. That was not even close to a name I was thinking.
What was the name that you were thinking?
Lawrence of Arabia.
There's actually another tight end that went to Harvard as well, and he plays almost the exact same style of tight end.
Is it Lawrence of Arabia?
It is. You guys. Think of another tight end that like just comes in to catch passes and that's it.
Don't all of them do that?
No, a lot of them block and all that jazz.
Michael
too.
Pruitt doesn't. This guy was
Michael Pruitt.
It's not Michael. Well, I don't know if he's Harvard now. Actually, no, it's Anthony Ferkser. Also,
Anthony Ferkser.
Yes, Anthony Ferkser.
Well, speaking of somebody else whose last name also ends in ER, Rams and 9-time All-Pro linebacker Bobby Wagner mutually agreed Thursday to part ways. The Rams need more cap space, and Wagner wants to win. So now he's a free agent. This comes from Adam Schefter. But
Big news.
Bobby Wagner released or parted ways from the Rams. This Rams team, they're still paying the price for that Super Bowl, right? That's just another part of what's going on here. We knew they were going to have cap issues eventually, and they're coming to terms with them now.
Yeah, I was reading yesterday that this is the worst season for a follow-up season for a Super Bowl winning team in NFL history. Pretty brutal for the Rams, and this is a big loss. Bobby Wagner had a really good season.
Yeah, he's awesome. And I wonder where he goes now. Maybe he goes back to Seattle. That'd be fun. Seattle's kind of a contender right now.
Are they? You think if he wants to win, you think Seattle's a team he's considering?
I mean, I've been looking at all the different contracts and stuff for teams, and like Seattle can very easily bring back pretty much the whole offense they had. Like Rashad Penny's going to be gone, but they have Kenneth Walker, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf are both under contract for at least 2 more years. They can easily, they got Noah Fant and Will Disley, so they can run their 2 tight end sets. Like Marquise Goodwin is a free agent, but he's like 32 and suffered a pretty serious injury. So, I mean, like they have most of the pieces in place to make a run. If Gino's the guy, or if they do something crazy and maybe they're in the running for like Rodgers or something like that, So I think that they're a team that just went to the playoffs with a first-year quarterback or first time starting for the team. It's not crazy, right? And I mean, Bobby's familiar with the place. I think that's a good spot.
Yeah, Tommy down here saying the Broncos. We could see Bobby Wagner on the Broncos with the new coaching staff over there. They've already got a pretty solid defense. That could be a good addition for them. Wherever he goes,
I like that.
It's a boon for that team. They're going to be excited.
Right. Yeah, great player. Now on the Rams side, I mean, I actually already have a tweet in my drafts. It's a little early to send it right now, but I think that if this is the case and the Rams are sitting there talking to Bobby Wagner and saying, hey, you know what? Like, we're not competing now. If you want to win, we'll mutually agree to part ways. I think the Rams should seriously consider trading Cooper Kupp then as well, because he's like 30 himself, and you're not going to get a better market to trade a guy like that than this. Like it's not a bad draft class, but there's no like superstars in it. And in free agency, the best options out there are like Juju, Jacoby Myers. Like this is probably the best you're going to get for a guy like that. Like could potentially get a first round pick or more back for him. And we're talking like a 30-year-old wide receiver. So I think they should honestly consider that.
And speaking of the Broncos, we talked about it yesterday. The rumor that Broncos might hire Matt Patricia, former OC for the Patriots and former head coach of the Lions, to be their defensive coordinator. But we did get news from Peter Schrager later yesterday that they are actually hiring Vance Joseph as their defensive coordinator.
You guys called it. But both of you guys wanted Vance as the guy over Patricia and Rex Ryan, which is
Vance used to be the head coach there in Denver.
Yeah. It's the smart move, but it's not the fun move.
Yeah. I think that's an accurate way to put it.
Yeah. These boring teams just trying to win.
Is it the boring move though? You get a former head coach of a team coaching under one of the more controversial but talented head coaches in the league, making his return with one of the most hated, failed head coaches by his own team, making his recovery path as a linebackers coach. Like, you've got 2 former head coaches just on the defensive side of the ball. Like,
It
there's a
could
lot
have
of
been Matt Patricia, Simon.
there's a lot
And
of
even
egos
the-
going on over there, and we still got Matt Patricia as the linebackers coach. It's not like he's gone. It's just like knock down another peg of the coaching tree.
I didn't
think
see
this
that he
is
was
the
hired as the
fun
linebackers
and
coach.
smart.
Was he?
Oh, I
He
thought
was?
you opened with that.
No.
There's
I just said that
rumors.
there was rumor that he was going to be brought in as the defensive coordinator yesterday.
There's now rumors, not confirmed, but belief is that he will join the Broncos coaching staff as the linebackers coach as well.
That's not good for him.
I'm just saying you could have Rex Ryan he's a movie star with a foot fetish. Like, or you could have a rocket scientist with a pencil behind his ear. And instead you're gonna pick Vance Joseph. Just saying.
Well,
I'm
they
just
did
saying.
get. If you want a fun hire for the Broncos, did you guys see who they hired as their quarterbacks coach?
No, yeah.
No.
They hired Davis
Staley?
Webb as their quarterbacks
What?
coach.
Is
Former
Davis
player, has
like
never
25?
coached. He's 28, and he's now going to be the quarterbacks coach for 38-year-old Russell Wilson in his first NFL coaching job.
Nice.
There you go. I
Good
like
for
that.
you, Webb.
Pretty cool, right? Do you think they're
Attaboy.
bringing him in to learn from Russell Wilson or from Sean Payton? Because that is odd, right? To put Davis Webb as the QB coach for Russ.
I don't, you see some of these backups, like Kevin O'Connell, for instance, that never, like, there was no point during his career where he was going to be the starter, it seemed, but he was such kind of a career backup. But he clearly has a mind for this game. So having those guys around, especially if they're going to run the scout team, they're intelligent, they can share things they see. It's good to have backups like that. And Davis Webb, man, clearly he's got a mind for this game if they're going to hire him as a coach. So I don't think it's really just to learn from him. I think this guy brings something to the table. Some of these guys are just smart, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. And we've been saying we want to see more players get involved in coaching. This is a cool transition. That's straight from the field to a position coach. That feels like a pretty big jump in a coaching hire. Not as big as Jeff Saturday from failed high school coach to NFL head coach, but getting up there.
Not everybody can be Jeff Saturday.
Not everybody can be Jeff Saturday. He's 1-7.
What's he doing now? Is he just?
I don't
doing
know. I was
nothing?
just wondering if I was going to ask you guys, you think he'll ever get hired in the NFL again as a head coach?
Not immediately as a head coach. I think his one chance to get hired as a head coach right away was right there with the Colts after that time. Like, he needed to convince Irsay in that moment to let him be the head coach. Now, if he wants to go that route, he's got some work to do. I think he's going to have to be a coordinator, be a positions coach, maybe start as an O-line coach and work his way up. And that's a lot of work, man. I don't know if he wants to do it.
The Robert Griffin, there's a quote from him saying, talking to Booger McFarland, saying, "Guess we're getting Saturday back here." Chuckling. They both work for ESPN, so maybe there's a little deal in place for him to go back into the booth.
Would make sense.
Yeah, see a bunch of news. I don't know if it's really considered news, but some more information around the Lamar Jackson situation trickled out yesterday. You guys see that?
No, I didn't.
A
actually.
little bit. A little bit. It was added some context to it.
It added evidence that to support what I've been talking about being I've suspected for a while now, which is that I just don't think Lamar Jackson's really budging in these negotiations. I think that is probably the crux of the impasse that they've reached, is that Lamar Jackson's just not going to take anything less than the top contract that's fully guaranteed. And we essentially got evidence to support that yesterday from ESPN. Details came out that he is the only negotiation, the counter negotiations that he's done has been figures that were higher than Deshaun Watson's contract and fully guaranteed. And so that gives us some insight into where his mind is at, of what he thinks he deserves, and where gives us some insight into whether they'll be able to reach that some sort of compromise.
And the real problem there is, I mean, it's twofold, because we talked about on the show that the contract that Deshaun Watson has is not in line with the market, right? Like, he has over 10 million more guaranteed money than anyone's ever had next year. And then Lamar is also negotiating without an agent. He's basically just using his mom as his agent, right? So it's kind of tough for him to look at it and say, hey, this contract's out there. This is what I want. And then for them to turn around and be like, it's not realistic. You need somebody that's like really plugged into the contract market to be your agent and say, hey, you know what, this isn't realistic. Without that, I find it hard to believe that he's going to turn around and change his mind, right?
I actually disagree with this premise, and this is more of a recent development. The more I've thought about the whole Lamar situation and thought about him not having a, going the conventional agent route, and the more I think about it, the more I don't think it's as detrimental as we make it seem. The reason being, Lamar Jackson has means, and so he can go and hire somebody to help, like the negotiation aspect of managing him. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're just doing this blind without learning or anything, or bringing in help. It just means that it's not being handled by an outside agency. His mom is handling, the actual management of him, and so he's not giving up whatever percent of his contract, year over year. I don't think it's necessarily a bad decision, or that it's putting him in a worse position leverage wise in these negotiations.
Well, there's a lot that goes into these. Let me tell you. I mean, I did real estate for quite some time, and we did deals where we didn't use agents, we just used lawyers, and I felt the same way a lot of times where I'm like, yeah, I can figure this out. We have a lawyer who's good enough, but there's a lot that goes in, a lot that can slip through the cracks, and sometimes the problem is
you don't have hundreds of millions of dollars though, too.
Right,
it might be a little easier if you did.
But I'm saying that it's like that. It's not even about, like, they're not just saying, it's not just the number. There's so much more that goes into it. And the problem is, it might not even be them trying to pull one over on you. It's just that, having that extra set of eyes with a reliable person to go back and forth with their set of eyes helps find those issues within the contract of like, okay, do we want void years? How are we going to set it up this way? Are there going to be, is there going to be no trade clause? Are there going to be all these other little minute things that we don't even think about? Like,
for sure. That's why I was thinking. Like, there's other routes that they could have gone to get that information. Is what I'm saying. Because you're right. There is nuance to it, and you have to know how to negotiate. It's a whole art. It's a whole skill set, right?
Right.
And so
like if he went to school for it, and he's and he's spending a lot of time doing it, and he maybe even wants to be an agent when he retires, then yeah, sure.
You go to school
absolutely.
To be an agent?
Yeah, well, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah, like if you go to school for like sports management and then take an internship at an agency, then that gives you everything that you need probably to be an agent, So, but the thing is, like, if he's doing all that and
they're all lawyers,
and he actually wants to be a part-time agent, then that's great. Just like I bought my house, but because I have my real estate license, even though I'm not a real estate agent, right? But like, I'm just saying these contracts can be complex. He could, it could be what's holding up the deal. The fact that he doesn't have somebody to speed things up, and also to say, hey, you know what? I think you're being a little unreasonable.
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily guarantees if he had an agent that he wouldn't still want this
of course not.
Outcome,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
So, and that's the other aspect of this. This will be an interesting situation. The longer it goes, the more I think it becomes more up in the air, right? That it's likely that he's going to be traded. I think ESPN, I forget who it was. One of the ESPN reporters were saying they expect Lamar Jackson. It's more likely now that Lamar Jackson's going to be traded with how the situation's going, playing out.
And to your point, JL, to your side of the argument, Daniel Jones has an agent. Now he has a different agent, and it's not going any better for him, right? So, the agent isn't the cure-all. I just think that at a certain point, if it's completely not working and it's completely stalled, then maybe it would be wise to be like, okay, you know what? I'm bringing in somebody to represent me, give me a little more leverage, and let's just get this taken care of.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But he's not the only person that does it. I mean, and he's also that good that he can kind of do it. Like Alexander Ovechkin, when he negotiated his last contract, he was like, he didn't get an agent. He was like, look, I'm the best player in the world. So, like, if you want me to be here, give me the best contract there is. And that was how they negotiated that. So it's
kind of easier probably to negotiate when you are at the top.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
It gives you a ton of leverage.
Right. When you're not replaceable. Like if you were coming in without an agent and you were just like a run-of-the-mill guy that they could just find another one, then they might just be like, all right, we're not going to deal with you. We're going to deal with somebody who has an actual agent.
Right.
I think it makes sense from Lamar. You're basing this off the assumption that Deshaun Watson reset the market, right? And you're saying, look, he got that money. He got it guaranteed. And look at the problems he has. I've presented none of those to you. I can play at an equal caliber. Pay me what he's getting paid. Pay what our division rival is paying their star quarterback. despite all of his off the field issues. And I'm fine with him not backing down from that. Know what I mean? Like I get it. Your division rival is paying a guy with all these other issues who didn't play without having seen him play in 2 years, $250 million guaranteed. And if Lamar Jackson says, hey, I'm worth what he's worth, or I'm worth what they paid him, whether you think he's worth it or not, then stick to it, Lamar. See if you can get it done.
Yeah.
Your Browns are such a bad organization, Simon, that their bad decisions are leaking into other organizations. it's like the Ohio train derailments all over the place, dude.
I was talking about this with a buddy of mine. Think about this also from if he gets tagged, a team is going to have to give up 2 firsts and give Lamar a top, like, 230 to $250 million fully guaranteed contract. That's a massive risk. Even if you're desperate, that's a massive risk.
Yeah. If it's the transition tag, I mean, that's the thing though. I kind of would do that.
They're not going to let him walk. So they're either going to hit him with one of the 2 transition tags or sign it.
Right. If they hit him with the franchise tag is a little more money. The franchise tag exclusive more money. Transition tag is 2 firsts. If they hit him with that tag though, there are teams that would do that because we just saw what the Broncos paid for Russell Wilson and then they paid him right away. I mean, I've seen a team trade for DeAndre Hopkins and then make him the highest paid wide receiver in the league directly afterwards. So I think
the point I made to my friend was that one of the 32, my guess is that one of the 32 teams is going to be desperate enough to make that deal. Doesn't create like a really high risk move. And it doesn't work. It's going to put that franchise behind many, many years. But yeah, I do think I'm with you, Coop. I think one of the 32 will be desperate enough to make that move.
Right. There's no way it's not high risk. And I love Tommy's suggestion. Falcons, Panthers, Saints. Falcons have the second most cap space of any team in the league. They have like $55 million. So they could easily do that, the Falcons. And then just imagine Lamar Jackson with Kyle Pitts and Drake London. Now that team is immediately kind of scary. Like now the Falcons jerseys are cool again. Right?
Kyle Pitts skyrockets.
Sky to the moon. Like,
yeah.
But it is, yeah. But Simon, I saw you chuckling. It is funny how like when teams suck, all of a sudden their hats are like not as cool. Right? Like that.
Hey,
I feel
you know what? You're talking to the wrong person here. As someone who has worn Browns gear for the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years of my life. If you're telling me that that's not cool, then then I don't know.
We're the Browns. What's your logo? Orange helmet.
Hey, I got the little elf on a couple pieces of merch.
The elf is cool. And I like the bulldog.
Corey does not like.
I like the bulldog stuff too, like the pound.
The dog pound.
Pound.
The problem with the dog is every time I see it, I remember back to the one game in the 0-16 season where they handed out the giant banners to the crowd that were supposed to spell "Go Dog Pound," but they handed them out in the wrong order, so it said like "To-do Pagogo" or something like that. Like it just had the wrong words, and so there was on national television during a game in the midst of an 0-16 season. They just put up "To-go Pacow" like in the stands, giant letters.
That is
Classic.
awesome. I see Dustin in the chat. Morning, guys. Dustin, good morning, man. You missed it. We not only did
Dustin,
we do a little hockey.
Albert too.
Not only we did it, yeah. Good morning, Albert. Not only did we do a little hockey talk this morning, but we talked Rasmus Dahlin, the defenseman for you guys, having a breakout as his 5th year in the league at 14 years old. So megastars. Hockey chat.
Slap, puck,
Hockey
Sally,
chat.
dangle, baby.
Angle slide, penalty books.
Oh, you got it, JL.
Nailed it.
Hockey.
You guys see the news on Javonte Williams?
No, what's up?
Some rumors that he could be kept out multiple games to start the season. According to Jeff Bezos on Twitter, he suffered multiple knee ligament tears after getting injured in week 4 against the Raiders. Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I did see. I knew that it was going to be a longer rehab than like Breece Hall's, but the good news was that they did say there's no nerve damage. That's the one that is the big killer. That's the one where like Marcus Lattimore, if you remember him from South Carolina, like he was so good. And then,
oh God, yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, and then the 49ers still gave him a chance, but with
he
that,
sued the school over that. I wonder. I never found out if he won. He sued the school because This was pre NIL. If you're not familiar, he broke his leg.
Yeah.
Broke his leg. South Carolina. What position did he play? Quarterback?
Oh, it was
Or
knee
wide
injuries.
receiver?
He was running back. Marcus Latter was running back,
Oh, wow,
South
I was way
Carolina.
off.
Yeah, and he tore his bunch of ligaments, but part of that included nerve damage, and that was kind of what
Ended his career before it started. Yeah, he never got to the NFL, and he ended up suing the university because this is pre NIL. And when he was playing, he was a star. So he's like walking around, seeing everybody wearing his jersey, his number on his jersey, and that's the reason. I'm pretty sure that's the reason why colleges don't put numbers on the jerseys they sell anymore.
Right.
That might have changed now with NIL. I actually haven't looked at that.
Yeah, they don't.
I know.
Yeah,
At Clemson, they started just doing. You could get one
year
that it was.
Yeah,
like those are the numbers that they sold.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was because of Lattimore.
Yeah. Good news now. He's he repaired his relationship with them because he actually believed that he's coaching, or he went to coach with them now. Yeah, he's a coach now, so good for him. He's got a second career here, but it's just like that's the kind of knee injury. Marquise Lee is another one where he had it's the nerve damage. So Javonte Williams reportedly doesn't have that, but it's going to take a longer time. Think J.K. Dobbins, right? That's a perfect example of a guy that had multiple ligament damage, and it takes a little longer to come back from that. So Javonte Williams, still a guy in Dynasty, but be careful in best ball and redraft.
Yeah. Man, I was excited for Javonte Williams for next year. But that's okay. We just hope he gets healthy, right? We sit here and we hope that we end up getting to see the Javonte Williams that everybody's been hyped for.
And I'll tell you what, if you're doing early best ball drafts, like doing them now, the name that I would be most interested in is Chase Edmonds. He because he was traded, they have no dead cap tied to him, so they can cut him and save all $6 million of what he's due. But he's already said publicly that he wants to work out a deal. He wants to be with the Broncos, and he knows that that's going to include a restructure of his contract. So if they can restructure that contract, he could end up being in the pass catching role in a Sean Payton offense, and I think we all know what that means. So Chase Edmonds, keep an eyeball on him, maybe 2,
maybe 3 if you got a third one.
A third one, put that on him too. Keep looking at all 3 parts of your N64 controller with all 3 of your eyeballs.
100%. We've talked quite a bit this week about some of the comments about former Chiefs offensive coordinator and now Washington offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. But Patrick Mahomes came out and had something to say in support of Eric Bieniemy and said there should be no questions on how great of a man / coach Bieniemy is. His leadership has a direct impact on the player person I am today. 10 plus years learning under one of the greatest coaches of all time, and I cannot wait for him to continue to prove doubters wrong. Strong words of support from Patrick Mahomes, from his quarterback, his former quarterback. Probably the guy who spent the most time with him on that offense, right?
I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'll put a little bit of weight on his words there. A little bit of weight behind what he's saying.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier this week or last week. That whole drama with Sean McCoy and Eric Bieniemy. More and more people are throwing their support behind Eric Bieniemy, so I think that's I think more evidence against McCoy, just kind of showing he's a bit jaded here.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Yeah, McCoy. I think McCoy he's gone into the realm where he understands that clickbait stuff gets his name in the headlines, and that brings more attention to his podcast and more attention to the things he's doing. It's same things that Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith understand, is that the more you're willing to say, the more eyeballs are going to end up on your stuff. So I think LaShawn McCoy is just kind of throwing a lot out there. I wouldn't necessarily go off what he's saying. He also said that the first guy to say that the Bears should trade Justin Fields, or that the Bears didn't even have a quarterback on the roster and should draft one. And this was like midseason. So yeah, I'm not taking things that LaShawn McCoy says and putting them in the press.
You're not, but somebody else is going to.
Of course.
But it's nice to see these former players come out in support of Coach Bieniemy, and we're seeing more and more of it.
Bingo.
Another player who's making some headlines is Tua Tagovailoa. So this season, we know he, due to circumstances out of his control, became the face of head injuries in the league, right? There was a lot of focus on him and how he was dealing with him if he was going to continue playing. But Mike Florio reported yesterday that in order to combat head injuries when falling, he has turned to judo this offseason. He's training with former Olympic judoka Jason Morris. And they're wondering if maybe more teams are going to start turning towards judo to help avoid head injuries when falling.
That's kind of awesome, because there were people at the time saying that, like, the way he was falling, like, and like whiplashing his head back or whatever. And they were like, people were joking about it, being like, oh, he's got to learn how to do that or whatever. And he's like, you know what? Maybe I can. So good for him, taking every step possible, right? Tuck and roll.
Tuck and roll. And I just like the idea of like a full judo class, but it's all NFL players. Like, that would be the most intimidating room to walk into, right? You walk in and there's like 30 of the largest, strongest, most in shape men you've ever seen in your whole life, wearing like those sick robes. They're all matching in those robes. And then they're going like, whoa, yeah, right? Like, I would shit my pants.
You'd be in there like, yeah, yeah.
I just now realize I have zero idea what judo actually is.
Think between wrestling and karate.
Yeah. The way it was described to me is using your own body weight to do takedowns.
The mix of wrestling and karate in my mind is the like silliest thing for
Not
some
a
reason.
mix, but somewhere in between. Like, if it's
That's
a
what I mean.
scale.
Like, they don't feel like they feel like they should have overlap, but they feel like they don't have overlap.
Like, and this is with limited information about karate and judo, just so we're clear. Yeah, if karate is all like chops and hits, and wrestling's
is
none
all
of
like
that,
grabbing. And
judo's
spinning.
like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's a lot of like throwing, like you like rolling your body to throw people on the ground.
Maybe closer to like Greco-Roman style wrestling.
So
Does
is
that
it
help?
just wrestling?
You know who
is that architecture?
You know who knows all this
Yes.
stuff? My buddy, Meat Mansion, who's in the chat sometimes. He knows all this stuff, top to bottom. Really wish he was here right now to just
He
come
knows
on.
he knows the mix between wrestling and karate.
Oh yeah,
He's like, oh, I got you. It
he
looks
knows
like
the
this.
exact mix. He'd come in and be like, it's 30% this, 70% this. Yeah,
So judo is just wrestling with more flippity doos.
And oddly enough, 2%, 2% ballet thrown in there, just a little bit.
A little dance.
There's some grace in judo,
Ah.
but it's a lot of throws, a lot of hip throws, a lot
Are you
of
texting me
tosses.
Mansion right now to come in here and tell us about judo?
Yeah, but he probably won't be here in time. But if he is, we'll see.
He might be up at 7 a.m. thinking about judo.
Probably is, dude. Well, he actually texted me this morning already, so that's why I was like, Meat Man could be around. Meat Man's deep. He's deep in the college wrestling game. Like, he could name the top guys in the world for all that stuff. Yeah.
In my mind, I was imagining college version of WWE or AEW when you said college wrestling. Man, they should really have wrestling teams.
And they have
like
a
college.
draft. And they have a draft every year.
Yo, that would be so sick if colleges had like full like professional wrestling style teams and they got together at other schools for giant matches, like the
That would be
Clemson versus
so
South
fantastic.
Carolina like WWE style wrestling.
Make it happen,
match.
Joey.
Oh my
I
god,
see you in
that
the
would
chat.
be so cool.
Joey
Freaking
would be
Dabo
perfect for
gets
that.
out there in the middle of the arena. He would be perfect as a professional wrestling heel, like as like,
Or like a
villain.
cameo.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, him playing just like a villain role in like one show would be perfect.
That would be so much fun because then you could like incorporate different like figures in the school, like the president or whatever. You have come down, he's just part of the show. He gets like hit over the back with a chair.
Chair move is it never misses. It never fails. The if NFL players were WWE guys, like who would be the heels and who would be like the heroes?
Who would be the what?
Who would be the heels and who would be the heroes? Like who would the bad?
Feel like a villain.
Yeah.
Why don't they just call them villains? Why they had to come up with a new name?
I think
The
maybe-
heels and the ankles.
Aaron Rodgers is a heel, and he already is. He plays
Heel.
that role up in the NFL, right? Like he would thrive in
Heel.
that role, just saying things to like get attention from other people. Heel. Heroes. Brock
I think-
Purdy is a hero. Lamar Jackson, I think, is a hero. Darren
It's in
Waller
between a heel and a
is
hero.
The soul.
Deep.
Yeah, I want to say that they call them heels because of the word
And
heel
then the
turn.
sole of the foot.
You've heard the term a heel turn before?
Yeah, I've heard that.
which is like where you like go from being good to evil, like real quick. I think that's why they call them heels. But I don't know, Joe. We have a bunch of wrestling guys in here, so maybe they get it. Dustin says heel equal bad guy, face equals good guy.
Top, bottom.
So I wonder if it's one of those things where heel is based on heel turn, and then as a play on that, face became the turn for a good guy because it's on the other side
face.
of the body.
In the face, yeah. I would say Kayvon Thibodeau right now would be a good heel. He's playing into it pretty hard. Aaron Ndamukong Suh, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Vontez perfect.
Yeah, Vontez perfect. Maybe a little too far because, like, I feel like in wrestling you have to have that little. You have to be likable by some people.
No.
Guys, if we're not careful with all this wrestling talk, I swear to God, Joey Wright's just going to end up popping up here. It's like summoning Beetlejuice.
No,
if you say
no.
Are you wearing the same shirt you wore yesterday?
You, JL, that is against code. That is a party foul. You do not call a bro out on wearing the same shirt.
Oh, I 100% will. I have book of rules.
Oh, my pods aren't connected. Oh, I'm such an amateur.
Now he takes the camera off.
What's up, Joey? Did you I once we started talking wrestling, I assumed we might hear from you.
Oh no, they're frozen.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Simon's frozen though.
Oh no, Simon. So yeah, Simon said that he thought that we'd hear from you as soon as we brought up wrestling. Simon, Joey, what do you think of the wrestling college league idea?
I love it. I mean, so WWE actually has a territory called NXT, which is kind of like college age guys. It's like developmental. So I think colleges should get this involve it in the theater departments. Let's get pro wrestling in colleges. I would like to be, what do they call it? A professor in college for professional wrestlers in a promo class.
The theater kids would run with it so hard. And then also like the idea of like, I could see it getting big, you know what I mean? And they'd get really into like drawing the crowds. It would be like, finally, like it's the theater kids' time to shine, respected by those sports schools. Those idiots only care about football.
Exactly.
Let's make them care about theater. Now, if you had to pick one player in the NFL to be a heel and one to be a face, a word that I did not just learn right now, who's it going to be?
I think you've got somebody that just retired. JJ Watt is probably the biggest face that the NFL has probably ever had. Just that's impossible not to like the guy, but you're terrified of him. So, I mean, he's very much like a John Cena, but not cheesy because JJ Watt's awesome and John Cena's cheesy. And just a villain from the NFL.
JJ Watt's kind of cheesy too, though. Let's
okay, so then he's John Cena.
Watch your mouth.
He's literally John Cena.
Watch your guy.
And a villain, I would probably say Kirk Cousins because I want to be on the show again.
Good answer. Good answer.
Smart man.
Joey came up and with one name each came up with better answers than any of us came up with for heel or face the entire
wrestling guy.
Kirk Cousins is like my favorite kind of heel or a bad guy. Because I heard you guys are throwing face and heel around. Because he's like that chicken shit heel, because I can say shit on Better Sports Network. The one that's just like you want to like, he's just such a weaselly guy. You just want to see him get his butt kicked, and that's Kirk Cousins for me. Beautiful, just so cringe. You just want to see him lose.
It's how do you get to that point in wrestling? Do they just come to you and they're like, "Look, no one's ever gonna like you, but we'll have you around if you'll go this direction." Like, but there's never is there ever any coming back from that? Like, can you ever come back and be like the face?
Oh, I mean, Roddy Piper is my favorite wrestler of all time. He's probably the biggest heel of the 80s, and he made a huge face turn in the 90s because he was so good at it. When you're so good at something, eventually people appreciate you for how good you are.
Yeah. Okay. It's like when I watch like Draco Malfoy or Joffrey from Game of Thrones. I'm like, the fact that at the end of the day, you finally go, wait a second.
Comparisons.
The fact that I hate this guy this much means this guy's probably a pretty good actor.
Doing a good job.
Right? Yeah, he's doing a good job. Right, like Snape.
Exactly. Well, boys, I appreciate you bringing me up. I wanted to talk a little wrestling, and I think I've expanded my time.
Yeah, great
Joey,
connection, by the way.
Good luck. Good luck with changing your shirt, and thanks so much.
Yeah, that was JL is the true heel of the morning for calling me out on that. I showered in the afternoon yesterday, so I have a full 24-hour period before I have to change clothes.
Yeah,
listen. If you hadn't specifically pointed it out on the show yesterday, I might not have noticed.
It is a cool shirt.
It is
a cool shirt. Joey, thanks for coming on, my friend.
Bye, guys.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye, Joey.
He's gonna
Well,
keep a
guys-
schedule of your shirts now, JL. You better watch out. You better not wear the same shirt twice in a
I'm pretty
week.
sure on that show I did a very quick wardrobe change. I don't know if anybody noticed the very
Little
beginning of the
sauces.
show.
I'm wearing Bruins, and underneath that I have on
Bruins.
big bad Bruins.
Nice.
Bruins. Well,
Top to
guys,
bottom.
now that we're done talking a little bit of wrestling, you want to get into the Weddle game? We are still undefeated. And I saw NKC asking in the chat earlier what the answer was. We don't know yet because we have not done it. Are you guys down?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Whose turn is it to pick a starting player? I think JL went yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, because he said,
Yeah,
don't pick
I went
AJ Brown.
AJ
Don't pick
Brown.
AJ Brown. So it's my turn to pick the starting player. And we're going to go with,
Hey,
where do
John.
we want to start? Let's start with Kadarius. No, I always want to go Chiefs wide receivers for some reason. Every single time I'm just like Chiefs wide receiver, Chiefs wide receiver, Chiefs wide receiver. We're going to go with Josh Allen, the quarterback.
Ooh, I like that.
And we got the position correct. The division is wrong, so we know it's a quarterback in the NFC, under 6'5", older than 26, with a number lower than 17. So we need an NFC quarterback
Okay.
that's over
Kirk
26,
Cousins.
under 6'5". Yeah, I think he fits all of those requirements.
I think he does. What number's Cousins?
I'm on it too.
He's number 8, so everything fit, but NFC North is wrong, so it's not in the NFC North. Under 6'3", but close. So 6'1" or 6'2". Age is less than 34, so we know he's between 29 and 31. And then the number is higher than 8, and we know it's 9 or 10.
Okay, he's not in the NFC North, so no Goff, no Rodgers. How about
Marcus Mariota.
is Mariota number 8?
Interesting.
Number 8 though. I think he might. Oh no, he's not.
He's shorter than 6'3", I think. I don't think he's quite 6'3". His age is definitely less than 34. I think he's probably like 29, 30, right? He's about the same age as we are, I think, 28, 29, 30.
I wanted to say he wears a single digit number though. Could be
Which,
9.
if it's 9,
Could be
then
9.
that's fine. The only one I don't know is the number. But as I told you guys,
I
useless
know
with
it's a
numbers.
single digit number. I remember seeing it. Let's put him in there. Why not?
Put him in there. See if we get some info. Marcus Mariota. Oh, his number is 1, and he's 6'4". But so I was all wrong. But he is 29.
Wow. It's bigger than I thought.
Yeah, he doesn't look that big on the field. But we know the NFC South is wrong as well.
Yeah.
So we need a quarterback not in the NFC North, not in the NFC South, shorter than 6'3", a little bit older than 29.
Yeah. So I know that Carson Wentz is 30, and he's in the NFC East, but he might be too
He's
tall.
tall.
Yeah, he's tall.
That's a tall guy.
That is pretty tall.
Taylor Heineke is not
How
old
old is
enough.
he?
He's getting up there, but I don't think he's 30 yet.
30.
We're looking for 30 or 31. How old is?
Oh, what about Dak?
He's not 30. He's 29.
Are we sure? I
I
thought
think
he was.
he-
He might.
I
be
think
30.
I think Jazz right. I think he is 29. Or no, he might be 30.
His number is also number 4, which
he's
is
at
not
4.
above 8.
Yep, good call. All right.
I shook my head like I knew.
Yeah. What about the NFC West? What about we go West?
Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield.
Baker's 30.
Baker is 30? Yeah. No, Baker's like 29 too, I think.
Oh, we
Because
know.
he was our years. He was at Oklahoma when we were there.
We
Not
know
at
the
Oklahoma.
exact height. They are 6'2", exactly, because 6'3" and 6'4" both showed close.
What about Gino? Do we already do Gino?
How
Let's do
tall is
Geno.
Gino? Let's throw Gino in there.
I don't know.
Yeah, get Gino in there.
Okay. Well, the division is right. The position is right. Gino is 6'3", and he's 32, so he's a little bit too old.
So it's 6'2" or 6'1".
Jeez.
6'2" or
know-
6'1", 30,
we-
31 or 30.
We know that it's 6'2", because 6'4" was also yellow.
Is it Jim Jam Galapagos?
Jimmy Garoppolo. We
Yeah.
can try it. Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's taller than
It
6'3".
is Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is correct. We're at 100% still.
Kept it, and we kept it at 5. I thought this was the one we were going out past. 5.
Honestly, I think I got lucky that we started with a quarterback, like that I picked
Yeah.
a quarterback first. It might have been more troubling not having that position known right away.
Better Boss in chat said Jimmy G 3 minutes ago.
Hey,
Nice
better
job,
boss.
Matt.
That's why you're the boss, dude. We probably should listen to you more often.
Probably would have saved us from that Geno Smith blunder.
Probably should have that serious blunder. Do you
Yeah.
think the speaking of
The
Geno Smith,
dumbass guess.
do you think the comeback player of the year is going to come back to Seattle this year?
Yes.
have-
Good question.
They have,
But yes,
as of this very moment, they have 0 quarterbacks under contract. Like Drew Lock.
Drew Lock.
He's not under contract either. They have no quarterback.
Oh
on the team.
no,
They better.
not Drew Lock.
Oh no.
Anybody but him.
They got to do something. I think they're
Yeah.
bringing back.
I think they
you
bring
guys-
it back too.
I used to sit next to his uncle at my first job out of college. We shared a cube mate, me and Drew Lock's uncle. And this was when he was like his senior season and going through the draft process. And his uncle kept telling me, oh, he's going to be the #1 overall pick. We got all these scouts out there. Just wait, just watch this season. And then it didn't happen. But then he was like, oh, just watch. He's going to win this starting job. He was hyping that man up.
That's awesome.
So Dustin didn't come in and say to do the hard one today, so maybe it's too hard for us. Or do you guys want to?
Oh, no, he came in specifically said, do not do the hard one today unless you want to fail.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said that in the chat earlier today. So
Probably some
I'm going to trust him.
Okay,
I'm going to fully trust him.
I'm gonna do it later to get in to see if I can get an idea of how hard it actually is.
There you go. Guys, coming up, we got some games coming your way. We are going to sell you some pens in a segment where we have to sell you on sales pitches that we have no idea what they are ahead of time. We're going to play some Texas Ranges with our friend Vinny Iyer. Then we've got Fast Guy Quick Time with our friend Tim Wright. And then to round out the show, we're going to play Hypothetically with our friend Eric Moody coming on a little bit later today as well. Right now, you're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Moose and Keith. Weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on Better Sports Network.
Baby J just wrote in the chat as we went to break that Nick Sirianni is the most punchable face in the NFL.
I think
I don't see it.
Well, yeah, I think people are bothered, and you saw the Giants bothered by the fact of how he was acting and his antics. And I'm growing a little tired of Kayvon Thibodeau on social media. Everybody
he's bothering me a little bit.
Well, everybody that criticizes Kayvon Thibodeau, he basically tells you, I don't know who you are, whether it be Jeff Saturday or whether it be Joe Staley.
Yeah.
Julian Love last week going on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network and saying Sirianni's in for a free ride. Just look how talented that team is. Well, I mean, I think it's a little unfair. If you're a Giant or you're a member or you are a fan of the Giants, you went in there on that Saturday night and you got embarrassed.
Doesn't it feel like sour grapes, right? Like it just feels like you guys beat me up, so now I'm just going to try to find a way to beat you down.
So, and if you're Kayvon Thibodeau, enough, shut up. I mean, you're on social media. Enough with the fact that anybody that rips you or criticizes you or going out there and saying or ripping the 49ers who didn't have a quarterback in the NFC Championship game and saying, well, we could have done a better job than what San Francisco is doing. Well, they didn't have a quarterback. And then Joe Staley calls them out. And then I got to have Michael Strahan tag teaming and jumping in and ripping Joe Staley. The fact that Michael Strahan got 2.5 sacks on him during his rookie year where Joe Staley was critical of what Kayvon Thibodeau did this year. I mean, are we serious here?
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
I mean, this is really what it's coming down to. I mean, why not hold the young man accountable and say, no, listen, zip it. Enough. Like you don't need to comment on everything, nor do I care. Yeah. You're not Micah Parsons. You're not Lawrence Taylor. You're none of those
But
things.
he thinks he is.
Well, but that's the problem. He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. And I would say he has a long way to go.
And maybe he becomes one of the best. He could.
I mean, it's possible. Do I think he's ever going to be Micah Parsons? I don't.
I don't. He's talented.
He's talented. I'm not telling you he's not going to have a successful NFL career. But everybody that criticizes him, he says, I don't know who you are. Well, why don't you look up and have for the men that played in this league before you and what they accomplished in this league? That the league didn't start the day that you stepped foot in the National Football League. And sometimes there's reasons why people are going to go out there. And if you're going to make comments as stupid as he did in the NFC Championship game, you understand that you're going to get called out for it. And if you get called out for being dopey, don't all of a sudden respond with, I don't know who you are.
Moose and Keith. Weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on Better Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Hiccup here on Better Sports Network. We're about to get into a game of Sell Me This Pen, and I'm going to try to get rid of these hiccups by holding my breath while someone else talks.
I just did the hurdle during the break, and I got to say, I didn't get it. And also, it's a player's name that I've seen before, but I actually don't even know how to say it. So, like, we never would have guessed it on the show because I don't even know how to pronounce it. So I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that wants to play, but Dustin definitely helped us dodge a bullet with this one. It is a start.
It would have just been a waste of like 15 minutes.
Huge waste of time. It is a starter in this league. So like, and if you guys would probably recognize the name if you've seen it, and you would see it, you would look at it and be like, oh yeah, I've seen that name. But yeah, I literally don't even know how to say it. So that would have been a tough one.
Meat Mansion showing up in the chat said, I mean, listen, either you're a man or you do judo. Choice is yours. Y'all watch fencing?
Guess I'm not a man.
Y'all
watch fencing? It's just a totally unrelated question.
We wanted you to. That's his like go-to, dude. And we'll be in our fantasy football chat. He'll do that too, where he'll just be like, "You guys see the lacrosse game this week?" Yeah, me man. If you had showed up maybe, I don't know, 45 minutes ago, we would have had you call in and talk about judo and stuff. But you're late. But thanks for showing up anyway.
This kind of Maria and I've been Maria's never seen Dodgeball, the movie.
What?
And so we started. You have no business saying what, Simon.
But Dodgeball. Like, no, whenever I say what, that means something, man.
And she and so we were rewatching it, and I was just cracking up because they have that one guy, I forget his name. He's the guy from Office Space, and he's got Obscure Sports Quarterly magazine that he subscribed to, and that's how he finds out about the dodgeball tournament.
Oh, so good!
Because he's just addicted. He subscribed to Obscure Sports Quarterly for the girls.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good facial impression of that guy, Simon. Almost too good.
That is pretty good.
I can't do the voice. I can't do the voice. Yeah, I'm a little sad how well it worked. I looked at the camera and I was like, "Oh God!"
The glasses really do it. You just need like some like higher magnification on his glasses, and you're good.
Okay, I'll work on it. I'll get some thicker lenses.
The cast of that movie is quietly amazing, right? I love the guy that plays the pirate guy.
Oh yeah,
he is. He's so good. Alan,
I hope it gets funnier because so far on the rewatch, not as good. I gotta say, yeah.
I watched that movie so many times growing up. It was one of the ones on rotation. I'm trying to think of like the on rotation movies. The Eddie Murphy movie,
Justin
The Adventures of Pluto Nash, was also like on rotation. I forgot Justin Long was in Dodgeball.
Justin Long,
he's in Dodgeball. Yeah.
Jason Bateman is as the announcer.
So good, yeah.
So good, bro.
I'm going back and watching. Little did we know Dodgeball was an ensemble movie.
Yeah. Said, did you watch half a movie? Yeah, we started the movie and then we played Overcooked.
Interesting strategy, Cotton.
I'm all about like just pausing something when I'm done with it, but my girlfriend is not. Like, we'll be watching something while we eat dinner, and I'm like, okay, done. And she's like, wait, we have to finish that episode. I'm like, but we're done with dinner. We don't have to sit here for 20 more minutes. We can do the thing we want to do most and just pause this. It's just like, no, we must finish the episode of Lego Masters.
I think I might be on the side of finishing the app, depending what the other thing you have to do is.
Play Cuphead.
Oh, then you go play Cuphead.
Then you go play Cuphead.
Time is money with Cuphead, man.
100%. Otherwise, you're just going to stay on the same boss or miss your bedtime for another day.
Yeah, Me Man just says, I'm deep in the troughs of poorly rated movies / Australian TV shows. I will say that nobody's seen more terrible shows than Meat Man, and hearing him recount them is a treat. Maybe we'll have to get him on for terrible movie reviews. But
the terrible movie review of the week brought to you by Meat Mansion 69.
I think we got a segment, boys. Yeah.
Well, guys, we're about to get into a segment called Sell Me This Pen, where our hosts are going to take turns having to give a sales pitch for a player or a concept or really anything that they do not know about ahead of time. You guys ready to get into it?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Who's sales pitching us first today?
Well, Simon, you're going first. Simon, sell me on changing my name legally to Lederhosen Garofalo. Shout out Chosen.
I know we often poke fun, but I'm proud of my Dutch heritage. It makes me who I am. The last name Groeneveld means a lot. Simon Groeneveld is a powerful name in Dutch. Now, another way to express my Dutch heritage
Bow at your feet
is through the common Bavarian clothing item of the Lederhosen. John Luke, the reason this is respectful of my heritage, my background, where a lot of my family still lives over there in the Netherlands,
and not
is
offensive.
because, and not offensive at all, is because I know in your heart of hearts, you generally believe the people from the Netherlands wear Lederhosen, hop around like this and go, I'm a Simon Groeneveld.
I'm Simon Groeneveld.
And because of that,
Not offensive at all.
if you have
Dang
any odicrum of respect for our friendship,
Oh, I got Odocrumbs.
you got Oda crumbs all over the place. In fact, if it's almost a full Oda slice of bread, there's enough crumbs
It's
down
Oda
there.
mess over
We're
here.
about to get Oda ants.
We're going to get Oda hands everywhere because of
Oh, the
all
Oda
the Oda
Terminator.
crumbs you've got of respect for me and my heritage. And you're going to change your name to the living embodiment of what you view as your Dutch friend. And that is Lederhosen. Every time you write your name down, every time you look in the mirror, every time someone says hello to you, you're going to think of me. You're going to think of your love for me, and you're going to think of your respect for Simon Groeneveld.
Simon Groeneveld.
End of my case.
I'm buying.
Well done, Simon.
I buy.
Beautiful. I'm calling the name agency as soon as the show ends.
The name agency.
The name agency, yeah.
Didn't you just call them yesterday to
The
change it
Federal
to Johnny
Agency of
Buckets?
Names. Yeah, I did.
No,
I did
Jimmy
Buckets.
Buckets.
Jimmy Buckets.
Johnny
it's gonna be
Buckets.
tough.
Don't be rude.
So wait, Jimmy Buckets is available now? Because I might take that one. Yeah, it was easy for me to buy JL changing his name to something funny. That's a buy for me. You had me pretty quickly in the speech.
Well done, Simon. Well done. Coop, you are selling me a pen next. You ready?
All right. Let me get my sales glasses on. Let's see. Yep. Ready.
Sell me on never watching hockey.
Here's the thing about hockey, boys, and I can speak to this as a obvious former Bruins fan, but I'm never watching hockey again. And here's the thing about the hockey is when you play a sport like football and you beat the defenders, you got the spin move, you got the juke, you get past everybody. That's a touchdown, man. You can celebrate. You know a good play when you see it. If you hit a home run in baseball, it's gone, baby. It's up over that wall. It's up over them mountains. You get those points right away. In hockey, you come down the ice, you dangle one guy. You get by the other guy, spin move. You get by the next guy, you nutmeg him right through the legs. Cha-chow. Other side, dangle him up. You dangle through the entire team. You take a perfect wrist shot, top shelf, right where mama keeps the cookies. And guess what? The guy saves it. It's no points, dude. It's the best plays often result in no points. Then the goalie takes it, passes it out. The other team shoots some garbage, bounces off the wall, bounces off a skate, bounces off the popcorn guy, trickles into the net behind the goalie, didn't even see it, the doofus. And that's a goal. That counts for a point. It's some junk muddling the puck in front of the net. It's a silly game for silly people played out in the northerns of Canada on the ice with broomsticks and pine cones. It's just not a game for smart people, right? So for me, I'm going to stick with the game where if you make the play, you get the points, then you get the khakis, then you get the girls. All right. So hockey, I'm out. I got to change both my shirts.
So Coop, I just have one follow-up here, and it's really a problem for JL. JL's a silly guy. So a silly sport played by silly people sounds right up his alley. The rest of what you were saying made sense there. They play it with pine cones and broomsticks up in Canada, but I saw his ears perk up a little bit when you said silly.
I love silly, and I love pine cones.
Well, that's why we have judo with pine cones.
Judo, in parentheses, with pine cones. Pine
You're
cones.
trying to
I
get
believe
silly
they're
with
adding
pine
that to
cones.
Yoga.
the Olympics next year. They're gonna have judo and then also judo with pine cones.
Yeah.
With
Me
pine
Mansion said it best. I'm gonna tell you what, hockey dudes def do judo.
Def judo.
So there you go. That's why no puck for me. I didn't even like the trade today for Dmitry Orlov or yesterday. Yeah, I'm just not a puck guy. So
He doesn't give
Not a
a
hockey guy.
I don't give a fuck about it.
fuck.
So there you go. Hope you guys sold.
Jay somewhere just shit his pants
I know.
when you made that joke.
I thought it and I was like, don't say it. And then I said it anyways. Don't say it. How many times has that been said? Don't say it, Simon. Don't say it, Simon.
Well done, Coop. I will never watch hockey thanks to you.
Wow.
You did it.
Starting
You did it.
starting now.
Starting right now. I will stop watching hockey. I had it up over here in the corner. I turned that off. X'd it out.
Shut it off.
Shut it down.
How many hockey players do you think you could name?
Active or just in general?
I wouldn't know the difference.
Active.
Sidney Crosby.
Ovechkin.
Those are two. I'd said 5 of them.
Mark
earlier.
Markinson.
Jimmy.
Aren't there 2 Markinsons?
Yeah, there's Mark Markinson
Buckets?
and there's Clark Markinson.
Okay.
Markinson and Markinson.
I
Clarkinson.
used to look at a bunch of these names, but now I
Smith.
can't remember.
There's nobody named Mark Markinson, by the way, if you were actually being serious.
Mark and Clark.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
Give me a name that sounds like a hockey name.
Vladimir.
Pretty close.
Puchev Lavowski.
That's
Don't
good.
say Puchev.
I believe that. I would if you said
Don't say
if you
Puchev
told
on
me
stream.
yes, if you told me today that the Bruins
You
traded for a
watch
guy
your
named
mouth.
Vladimir
Sorry.
Puchev.
Kuchev Pulowski.
Puchev.
Not
Is that
bad.
better, Jay? Is
Puchev.
Is Kuchev
Velocity.
better than Puchev?
No. A little bit.
Beat Mansions and Sylvester. Sylvester Valkinson.
Very good. Pretty good from a guy that got kicked out of our fantasy hockey league for not paying attention. Me mentioned.
I like Sylvester better.
Sylvester.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Falkinson.
That's Isaiah Pacheco is a hockey name.
That could be a hockey name.
Yeah. Sebastian
Nobody named
Sebastian
Isaiah playing
Vollmer.
hockey. That's for sure.
Sebastian Vollmer is a good football hockey name.
Sebastian's such a versatile name that it could be a world-renowned cellist or it could be a hockey player. You
There
don't
are-
even
I can
know.
see like on the beach, shirtless with like a flowing mane, painting freestyle, and I can also see as like a badass hockey goalie.
Sebastian Peroni.
Maybe both. There's
Sebastian
two
Pepperoni.
there are two
The goalie.
there are two professional hockey players both named Sebastian Aho.
With the same last name?
Sebastian Aho with the same exact name, yeah. They're both in the
That's
NHL
wild.
and they're not
What's their
related.
middle name?
I think they're both their middle names are Vladimir.
Their middle name is and their last name is Ho. Sebastian Aho, man.
So
Who
dumb.
gave us their whole name?
Sebastian Aho, bro.
Dustin said George Kittle looks like a hockey player.
Cole
He
Beasley
does.
looks like a hockey player in a miniature version.
Yeah.
Miniature
just-
hockey.
He
Cole Beasley looks like one of the guys on like the game
figurine.
with the sticks that you play in the like the foosball version of hockey.
If you
Yeah.
just saw his mouth missing the teeth,
Just his mouth, yeah.
then he's a hockey player for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
very very good, guys.
Well done.
That's hockey talk.
All right.
A lot of hockey talk today. I'm liking it.
All right, Simon, you're back up. Simon, sell me on replacing Simon with Joey as the best man in my wedding.
It's easy. Honestly, it's absurd that this hasn't already been the decision made. If there's one thing we've learned through doing all of this, John Luke,
That's me.
is to know your audience, especially whenever entertainment is one of the goals, right? We're aware of the best man duties. I'm not concerned about my ability, Joey's ability. really any of your close friends' ability to execute properly on the responsibilities of it. What I am concerned about is their ability to speak to the audience at your wedding in a humorous, emotional, and meaningful way. There's two big hurdles preventing me from doing so. One, as we've seen, my audience isn't always going to be the older family and friends that may appear at a wedding. I say one too many poop jokes, right? And it's going to come out during there. Some of our fondest memories involve poop and poop stories, JL. It's going to come out during
foundation of our friendship.
And Auntie Lucy sitting in the back isn't going to be too happy. And Grandma Patty sitting in the other corner. Auntie Coop sitting there at the wedding is going to be a little bit unhappy with me. The other thing working against me that Joey has going in his favor is
children.
He's been in that situation before. He knows what it feels like to be married. He knows what it looks like to stare the woman you're going to spend the rest of your life with, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, in the eyes and tell them that you love them. He understands the gravity of the situation and also how to make it lighthearted. And we have seen him time and time again in Start Sits and Salutations put out pre-planned, pre-written, funny, entertaining, and informative content. It was like an application the whole time sitting right in front of you, JL, and we didn't even look at it. Joey Wright will deliver the better speech, the more emotional speech, and the more meaningful speech. And he'll be able to do it without crying, which is the last barrier here. I'm going to be blubbering like a baby up there. You probably want to save me from that embarrassment.
It's going to be awkward, yeah. All right, you sold me.
Thank God.
Your wish, my command.
It's your problem now, Joey.
Do you think Joey will wear his shirt for the wedding?
No, I think he'll be shirtless.
Lost Bros.
He just has the one shirt. So when he said he changed his shirt, he just meant that he just
took it off, put it back on.
Just took his.
When I get married, I want all the groomsmen to be wearing tuxes with nothing underneath.
Nice.
Just like the tux jacket, shirtless tux jackets with bow ties.
Oh, I can't wait for
Just
that. Are we wearing pants?
Magic Mike it?
No, we're not wearing pants. We're wearing boxers at best.
Nice.
What kind of boxers?
Are they tux?
American flag.
I was going to say hearts all over them. They're going to be pink with little red hearts all over them.
Nice. The classic design.
What is your shirt got on it today?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, a lost cat.
I was going to say, I got a glimpse of a cat. That's an excellent.
Joey said Lost Bros. Is there like a Lost theme going on? Lost motif?
Excellent. This is actually one of Atlanta's probably most treasured artists. You'll see his stuff all around Atlanta. The guy who made the shirt, you'll see this poster, and it's all this very distinctive, like kind of like scratchy off style. But if you go on
scratch off style,
you'll start, like scratch off lottery tickets. That's where he gets his inspiration.
That's cool.
I like it.
All right, well done, Simon. I will be replacing you with Joey, I guess.
Awesome.
Not the other way around.
Mr. Scampers is in the chat. What's up, Scampers? And Scramble said Grandma Padme is going to be pissed in the back whenever I
Grandma Padme. Poor Padme. All right, Coop. You're next. I want you to sell me on retaking the SAT and ACT.
Look, I really okay. Look, here's the thing about your SAT scores. Everyone cares about them deeply, and they all remember what they got on them, especially me. I know for sure what I got on the SATs. I think about it quite often. In fact, I think about it so much that it bothers me to this very day. And if you're going to do the darkness retreat that we all plan on doing, are you really willing to go into that dark room knowing that you didn't give it your all on the SATs? Maybe you took them twice, like a lot of people did. Maybe you took them 3 times, like all the weird kids did. But did you give it a 4th time? Did you give it a 4th go to give your best effort with the knowledge that you have now? Not the specific knowledge that you need for the SATs that is crammed into your brain in high school. No. Much later on down the road. Did you try again? Because if you go in that dark room not knowing what you would have gotten on the SATs as a 28-year-old man or the ACTs as a 28-year-old man, I think you're going to be in big trouble, in a big, difficult mental space. Can you imagine what Aaron Rodgers was thinking about his SAT scores the whole time he was in that dark room? It's probably horrifying to him. So for me,
Haunting.
I'm not leaving anything to chance before I go in that room. I'm going back. I'm taking the MCAS, which is the local Massachusetts version of those tests. I'm going back and I'm doing a IQ test. I'm doing the Wonderlic. I'm double checking everything. And then guess what? When I get out of that dark room, I'm doing them all again because I want to know if this treatment changed my brain for the better. So
experimentation, I like it.
And if you don't do it in full, how are you going to know? How are you going to be sure? So for me, it's a no-brainer. For you, I hope that you're buying. I hope you're buying in, and I'll see you guys at test day, 7 a.m.
It's really cool because, like, in case you weren't going to be worried about anything while you're in the dark room, now you have like 10 standardized tests to just wonder what you got on them the entire time you're in there. Like you can just sit there and just that's what you can think about. Then you don't have to worry about anything else.
That's smart. Yeah, you don't want the results until after.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in, Coop. Count me in.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
well done, guys. You sold me all of these pens.
Fill your brain with SAT questions and then go into a dark room for 4 days.
You'll just be thinking superfluous, pugnacious, just the words start coming out.
ABCD, Scantron, number 2.
When you don't know the answer, leave it blank. It's okay to leave it blank. It's okay to leave it blank.
Oh, I shouldn't have left that blank. What if I would have got 100?
Pencils down.
What if I would have had a perfect score? I would have been on the news.
You wake up in the middle of the night in the dark room. I just needed 10 more minutes. It's okay. It's okay.
I don't even remember what the essay questions were. I'm going to go back and take it, and then I'll know.
I mentioned this on the show before, but the essay questions were my least favorite part until a teacher told me you're allowed to make up whatever you want on those, even though they're like nonfiction, they're like essays, and they don't fact check you. They don't check your facts. It's just about the writing ability. So you can like make up studies and attribute them to random people. And they're just like grading it based on the, like, how did you use the fake study that you put into your
That's so
paper?
Unfair. Teacher didn't give me the cheat codes.
Oh, it was so much fun. Just like writing a completely, like, it was almost like fan fiction essays where you're just like getting to make up the research behind it. That's my hot tip for anyone taking the SAT. Guys, that's going to be it for Sell Me This Pen. Dale, hopefully we convinced you of some new things. Coming up, we've got our friend Vinny Iyer joining the show for some Texas Ranges. Tim Wright is going to come on for some Fast Guy Quick Time. And then our friend Eric Moody coming on for some Hypothetically as well a little bit later. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here with Better Sports Network.
Call, chat, and enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Better Sports Network. Moose and Keith.
Because I never asked you this. When Noah was growing up, when did Noah first where you got a sense that this is what my son wanted to do?
I was really busy during his formative years. I didn't meet Noah till he was about 19.
Nice. So, your wife did a good job.
Yeah, you may want to talk to your wife. I would say about 13, he started showing a legitimate interest. He started getting curious about how I prepared, what it required. And then I saw a little bit of a shift, 14, 15, where he was concentrating on the on-cameras, the interaction between play-by-play and analyst, and started probably taking mental notes at that point of the performance aspect of, okay, you do all this prep, but you got to go out and deliver it. So yeah, probably that 14, 15 range, I thought to myself, this could be something he really wants to do.
Front Yard Fantasy, weekday mornings at 7 Eastern on Better Sports Network.
You don't need to be like right 100% of the time.
No, there was a tweet about the refs that had me kind of cracking up the other day because somebody was like, we have the technology to, like, track the ball down to a centimeter and figure out, what speed these guys are running on the field. Yet somehow we still mark the ball by
That's my favorite.
a 60-year-old dude eyeballing it, and then we run over with literal chains and measure it. It's like, you think we can probably get that figured out.
The least precise way to measure something, and then like immediately following that up with a super precise way of measuring something.
Yeah, it's like we have
That's what I love.
satellite.
Like if you're a millimeter short of that chain that they bring out there, that they ran out it as best they could in a straight line. But if you like, first they just go here, and then they grab the chains and they run in the straightest line possible. But then if you are 1 millimeter short with that football, it doesn't count. Sorry, couldn't have been human error. You're just short.
That's exactly. And, you know, they bring out the index card or whatever. Meanwhile, they have like, you know, satellites in space tracking how fast Brandon Ayuk ran on an end around. But we can't.
And I can see that number live while he's doing it. Like I can see every player's speed on the screen live.
I love that. It's like, yeah, and not to mention like that dude's trying to make the spot, and the player always tosses the ball like right into his face, right? Like he's coming over to spot it, and it's like every other time the player's just like, here you go, here's another thing to juggle.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Is it me, Ray, or is the only publicity that Microsoft Surface has gotten out of their whole thing on the sideline is people throwing them to the ground in anger? Like, is that just a me thing? Or the only time I hear about this device, Ray, is when somebody is chucking it on the ground, just pissed off at it, which I get it. All of us are in that world. We'd love to do that. Only in the NFL, Ray, can they get away with it because these are free. There's no cost. It's part of the sponsorship. Here's 5,000 Microsoft tablets to get you through the NFL season, and these players, right, just slamming them down. It's like they've become Gilbert on the sideline, and they're so frustrated. They're just like the only publicity this company and this product has gotten is negative.
Better Sports Network. It's sports talk done better.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. We had to send JL on some errands to pick up some things for Coop. Coop, what did he have to pick up for you again? I can't remember.
Yeah, so he went to grab me a couple extra pairs of sunglasses. I'm only down to 6. He needed to grab me a new finger trap. Mine here, kind of falling apart a little bit.
Getting a little loose.
Yeah, a little bit. Some strawberries and cream because I ate most of mine yesterday while Keith was late to start the morning meeting. And he had to grab me a new shoehorn. You know, mine here, it's getting a little rusty if you look closely. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully he'll be back soon. I do need that stuff, and I need it immediately. But, you know, I appreciate him going up to get it.
Shoehorn is one of those things that I know I should own, but I don't. I just jam my feet into the shoe and rip on it and dig my heel in and tear up the skin on the back of my fingernails. I'm trying to shove my finger in to get my foot in every time I wear my dress shoes.
The trick is to buy expensive dress shoes, and then you will take pride in them and you'll use a shoehorn.
I believe that because I treat my nice pens with so much care that my normal pens that I like chew and rip up and throw the caps away and snap the arms off of, I would never. Also, Mr. Scamper's in here, said, good morning, you handsome sons of guns. Glad to have you here, Scamps.
Morning, Scamp.
And Jail said, or Mr. Scamper said, Jail, please grab an egg sandwich, please. Yeah, Jail, if you could grab a couple egg Sammies on the way over.
Yeah, let's get some Sams going, dude.
Coop, if you're on a road trip, you leave bright and early and you're picking up fast food breakfast, what are you grabbing?
Not only just my favorite fast food breakfast, but maybe my favorite food in the entire world. This is not an exaggeration. If I were to be executed this week and they were to say, you get one last meal, somewhere on that plate would be a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle from McDonald's.
Mm.
I love those McGriddles, man. I don't know what it is. They're just like, they're perfect. They're perfect in every way. So give me a McGriddle.
I'm not a sausage guy, but a McGriddle is so good. I'll do the bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle. Just delicious.
I know. I have a guess what yours is based on watching well before we were on the show, watching your 3:00 show.
I bet you'll get it then.
Would it be actually? So there's 2 points available on this one: the food and the place. So the food, I believe, would be French toast sticks.
So I thought about that one. That is a very close second place.
Second place. Ooh, now I'm excited to hear what it is.
The place, I'm assuming you were going to say
Burger King.
Burger King. Yeah. They got bomb French toast sticks at Burger King. Number one, though, I brought this up on the show. We did a show with our friends Teddy Ricketson and Brooke Pryor. Teddy Ricketson with DraftKings and Brooke Pryor with ESPN. And they were in support of this pick. It's the Bojangles Cajun Filet Chicken Biscuit. And there's no Bojangles near me, but when I was living in South Carolina, when I grew up in Georgia, there were Bojangles everywhere. And oh my God, you get the Cajun Filet Biscuit combo with some Bo rounds and then a Bo-berry biscuit on the side and the largest cup of cheer wine you've ever seen. Take that, like 48 grams of sugar per 12 ounces cheer wine for breakfast. It doesn't get better than that.
I'm looking at this thing right now. In what world is this a breakfast food?
It's a biscuit. It's a biscuit with a full spicy chicken filet patty on it. Spicy. It's just got some like Cajun spices in it.
Looks amazing. Oh, they put an egg on it too?
You can get an egg on it. And then the Bo-berry biscuit, it's like biscuit dough, but made like a blueberry muffin. So they like fill biscuit dough with blueberries and then cover it in the best icing. Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh wow, I'm looking at this puppy right now. I need that.
And during football season, they make them football shaped. So you get a football shaped biscuit full of blueberries covered in icing.
I need it bad. I need it in and around the mouth. Where's nearest Bojangles here? It sounds like it's way southern.
It's like Carolina's based, I believe. I don't know how far they've extended.
I'm gonna be down there in the April for a little golf action. So.
Swing on by a Bojangles, and I'm not a sweet tea guy, but apparently they've got like the best sweet tea. So if you are, grab that. If not, get a big old cup of cheer wine to wash it all down. That is
the closest one to me is like outside Philadelphia. So yeah, it looks like they're all over the place down your way though.
It's not like the worst feeling. I like went to go Google like where the closest Waffle House was the other day because I was craving it. It's like hours away. I have to drive like 3 hours. Also, Mr. Scammers News said this is the saddest I've been in 9 minutes. McGriddles are the worst food you can purchase in the U.S.
What are you talking about, Scamp? Mods, remove Scampers from the chat.
No, overridden.
Yeah, never.
McGriddles are amazing, dude. Are you kidding? Are you outside your mind? Like the McGriddle, the three things.
Don't go after a cat.
The McGriddle, the hash browns, and then just the classic double cheeseburger. Those, I'm not even sure there's a limit of the number I could eat. I've never found it, but I've had multiple of each in one sitting, and I think I could just eat them until I die.
Hash browns, I'm with you. The other stuff, my limit's exactly one.
Is that just
non-inclusive?
Cheeseburger, my limit is 0. I will not be eating a McDonald's cheeseburger.
McDonald's double cheese, there's something special about it.
0 if the range is inclusive.
But their hash browns are so good.
My diet ended, and then when I went to Vegas and came back, my diet had to start back up again. So no McDonald's for me for a little bit. But
actually, I can't eat McDonald's hash browns. That's a lie.
Why not?
I'll eat 0% of that breakfast. It's not vegetarian.
Animal, vegetable oil. Yeah.
It's interesting fact. The everywhere except the U.S., McDonald's fried stuff is vegetarian. But when they switched to vegetable oil, fat Americans complained, so they switched back just for the fat Americans.
Smart.
Hey, well,
if that isn't the most fat American thing you've ever heard.
It's so.
I don't know what is.
It's so good.
McDonald's, one of the biggest corporations, treats us as a special case.
Their French fries are so good, but they also treat different, like the menu changes based on where you are as well. Like you can get lobster in some places, or they've got like different options on the menus in different countries. So the American food is just greasier and fattier.
Just maybe imagining Americans eating like vegetable oil fries, like this tastes different. I don't understand.
I ate this whole thing and I still feel good. This ain't right.
When I was in China, there was one day where I had to run into a McDonald's just to grab something real quick. They didn't do free refills, and the only drink size they had was this size. It was just a little one, and they handed it to me in a bag over the counter. No refills, just handed me my drink in a cup, in a bag with the rest of my food. And I had to like just savor my little baby sips of Coca-Cola. I'm used to unlimited 32-ounce cups of soda that I'm like chugging, but instead just one little sip. Speaking of fat Americans and the differences in McDonald's from country to country, it was one size of drink.
absurd.
Yeah.
Give us more drink.
JL, what's your favorite fast food breakfast?
I guess Dunkin'. I don't know that I have a favorite fast food breakfast.
Dunkin' absolutely counts. What do you get at Dunk's?
I get bagel with cream cheese usually. A little donut action, you know what I mean? A little strawberry sprinkles.
Dude, those donuts at the Aria in Vegas were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Fruity
Wild.
Pebbles. JL, I
Fruity
had
Pebble donut.
the last time I went to Dunkin', I had the strangest drive-through interaction. It's when I was home in Atlanta. I order some, like, I don't know, one of their special, like, cookie batter latte, oat milk, blah, blah. Like, I forget what it was, but I ordered one of their specials they have on the menu. And we get up and we're going to pay. It's me and my sister. And the guy looks at me. He holds the drink that I ordered. He goes, I wouldn't have gotten this. It's pretty nasty. And I was like, okay, like, what would you have gotten? He goes, well, I probably would have gotten just a Charlie with 2 squirts of caramel. And I was like, a Charlie with 2? I was like, what's a Charlie? Like, I'm going to bite. And he's like, oh, it's just like a latte mixed with this. And you pour this. And I was like, okay, like, are you offering? Like, are you offering or nah? Like, that's just what I would have gotten. And I was like,
he didn't offer to make it. I already made this one. You got to pay for it.
Like, okay, like,
but it's nasty. I wouldn't drink that. That'll be $13.79.
The funny thing about different kinds of coffee is if you actually like look at them, it's kind of like Mexican food where it's all the same thing except slightly different, right? I just recently found out that you have an espresso shot. If you put milk and foam into it, foamed milk, it becomes a cappuccino. If you put a little more milk into it, it becomes a latte. That's literally the only difference.
Did you just learn how coffee works?
I'm like looking at it, I'm like, wait a second, these are all this is just coffee and milk. And there's like, but you can make like
it's just different ways of
50 different drinks.
The coffee and milk. Yeah.
50 different drinks. It's just coffee and milk.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. And then initially, Coop, when you said that it's mostly the same like Mexican food, I was initially opposed to that, and then I thought, you know what? There's Taco Bell, and I was thinking like, Dunkin' coffee's terrible. Like, there's definitely a big drop off of like decent coffee of terrible coffee,
right?
But then I guess that it does exist with Mexican food too. So,
and if you look at like Americanized Mexican food, like a Taco Bell, it really is all just tortilla, rice,
the Dunkin' coffee of Mexican food, yeah.
And they smush them together in different ways.
No, it's
how you want to do it.
Comp.
Like even a Crunchwrap Supreme is just flat and it's all in there. It's the same stuff.
Kevin said, "Tread lightly on Taco Bell slander."
Yeah, I know. Kevin,
I will
Taco
not.
Bell's king. I'm not even slandering it. I love Taco Bell.
I love Taco Bell.
0% Mexican.
It's delicious. It doesn't have to be Mexican food to be delicious, though. It is
true.
So freaking good. Mr. Scamper said, just eat coffee beans. Though the dark chocolate covered espresso beans are top tier. That Dunkin' employee was one of only 2 employees to ever say weird things to me. One time I bought a pasta sauce from Trader Joe's, and on the way out, the guy said, "You ever had this before?" And I said, "No." He goes, "I really didn't like it. Just so you know, we do free returns, even if you open it." I never opened that pasta sauce. He freaked me out while I was checking out. He told me it was gross and that I could return it if I wanted to. Like, I'm not going to eat that. I just let it rot in my fridge. Guys,
gross.
Coming to join us right now to play a little bit of a game we call Texas Ranges. We've got our friend Vinny Iyer. For those of you that do not know Vinny, you can find him on Twitter at Vinny Iyer, and he is an NFL and fantasy football writer over at Sporting News. We are hyped to have you on today, my friend. What's up, Vinny?
Not much. How are you guys?
There he is.
Yeah, just recovering a little bit.
Covering
post trip after the Super Bowl, little getaway to New York, which was great. So
you are an international man of mystery, Vinny. You're always doing something fun.
Yeah, I'm always trying to go somewhere. It's fun.
Well, we were away last week. We didn't have a show because we were at the FSGA conference. So what did you do in New York, man? And also, how was Super Bowl?
Well, the Super Bowl is great. Yeah, it also runs into the back end or front end of Valentine's Day. So we always like plan a trip because President's Day comes up after. So you get a long weekend. So I always try to take a trip with my wife somewhere. And we got these cheap tickets to New York in the last minute. So that's where we went. So a little bit of everything. The funny story I'll share here is that I ran into the same chef twice in the period of 12 days, once in Arizona and once in New York. So, yeah.
How is that possible?
I don't know if you know who Marcus Samuelson is, but he's
A hockey player.
Yeah, he kind of. I don't think he's related to those guys, but
I know who he is.
Oh,
yeah.
I've seen this guy on
he's
judging
on-
like Chopped and stuff, right?
Yeah, he's like that. He's actually Ethiopian, but he got adopted by Swedish parents, so that's why his name is Samuelson. But he's very recognizable. Goes around with a hat, and he's kind of hipster looking. So,
And you hung out with him?
Well, okay. So here's this one event that we went to. We had to do something with Matthew Berry, and we had to go cover some event he was doing on, I think, Wednesday of Super Bowl week. So then we went there, and then I saw the chef was Marcus Samuelson, and my coworker's like, I don't know who that is. I have no idea. Said, you'll see him. He'll be the guy, like he'll be in the corner. He's kind of very friendly, so he goes around everywhere. So I took a picture with him then, and then I went to his new restaurant down in New York. I think it was last Monday, like a period of 12 days. So I'm talking to him, yeah, how did you like that party? He said, oh, yeah, that was pretty fun. I didn't stay for the game. I don't know anything about football. So I took a second picture with him, and he remembered. So that was kind of cool.
That is awesome.
That's pretty wild. That's a pretty cool experience in that he remembered you to get to like meet him
Well,
there.
I
And
think
then
kind of a meta experience, because I think my wife said, oh, she was deciding between what new restaurants we should go to. Then when I got a picture with him, she said, let's go to his new restaurant because it's a sign. Then we went to it. It's really good.
And he just so happened to be there.
The Red Rooster.
Something like that. But they had what they had was, it's interesting because there's a mix of like Ethiopian, Swedish, and like American food. So you had like one fried chicken drummy and this amazing kind of a sweet and spicy sauce that was over like a beef thing and all this stuff. So it was really good.
I'm gonna turn to my wife later and be like, I'm in the mood for Ethiopian Swedish tonight. Do you know any good places?
Could you whip something up real quick?
Yeah,
So happen to know a spot.
Yeah, some really good breads, cornbreads, things like that. So it was interesting for sure, but it was really good no matter what I was eating. So that's the thing about New York. You can just go around the corner, and the pizza you get there will be like world class or something.
Right, or like the dankest Indian restaurant will just be like randomly in a side street that you happen to find.
Food carts, that are out like just every block. It'd be like, okay, I can just eat from this and I'll be happy. So, what's
your favorite place to go to in New York?
Oh, it's interesting. We went to the Museum of Modern Art, which is pretty cool. I also kind of like walking around and seeing those stores, and this is weird, all those like official stores of the sports leagues that are there. See what they have. Like the MLB shop is not bad, but like the NHL leaves a little to be desired. And then they had this little boutique. I said, I'm going to check it out. It was the Paris Saint Germain store. And it was like so trendy in there. Like wanted to get out of it. Like it was just too.
I wanted to get out of there.
Like they don't put you can get the hats, but I'm like, I just want a thing maybe with the hat with the logo on it. And they put that logos, like there's a dude putting the logos, like you customizing your hat. And they have that at the MLB shop too, where there's some dude who's like, if you want a jersey with your name on it, he's doing it right there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's weird. I like to check it out because sometimes you'll find some good cheap stuff or stuff that they don't sell anywhere else. So it's kind of interesting, the shops down there that are like, these leagues have all these shops, of course, all owned by fanatics or whatever. So
I didn't know you were a soccer guy.
Well, I'm not a big soccer guy, but I kind of like the Paris logo, and obviously they're
there it is,
trendiest team and whatnot. I kind of like their logo. I mean, I'm not a big soccer guy. I don't really have a team, but like I think soccer has some cool gear. Except for I'll tell you what I despise though. Like I don't want to buy a jersey with like Qatar Airways or like a bank on it. Like I don't want.
Yeah. And you're not gonna be a billboard, right?
That's the first thing you see. You don't even see the team name. Like it's
I have
weird.
had that same thought, but I don't think I've ever verbalized it. But I've thought the same thing when I've seen jerseys from other sports. It's just like, man, that's kind of annoying. Like in some instances, it's kind of cool.
The team name on the front of it or the logo. You don't want some like you're shilling for some. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's somewhere buried on your sleeve. Okay, that's the team.
Yeah.
Like imagine if prior to the Steelers becoming or the stadium being bought by Acrisure, but like if Heinz had owned the Steelers logos and they just have a big ass Heinz ketchup logo in the center of the front of their jerseys walking out on the field.
Yeah. It's so funny that it's like now, I mean, at the time you would say that, but now people look at it and they're like, man, I wish we had Heinz back. What the hell is Acrisure?
Yeah.
Heinz would probably look better on a jersey than Acrisure would.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah. So we probably don't have time for games, Vinny. I want to ask you,
sorry.
No, you're good. We didn't have time in the first place, so and we'd rather just chat.
It's all a myth. It's all a myth.
Yeah. We were looking at some landing spots.
Okay.
Potentially some team. I like looking at because like everyone, it's so easy to be like, oh, who should the Bears go after at wide receiver? And the answer is everyone, right? But there's some teams I think are like close to competing and just need something to get them to the next level. So like the Bills, for instance, who do you think would be a good fit on that Bills offense? They need another weapon, whether it's a wide receiver, whether it's a running back. Who do you think would be a good fit in free agency for them to bring in that you think maybe will take them to the next level where they can get it done this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. People are looking at them needing a wide receiver, and it's kind of head-scratching a little bit because we hyped up Gabe Davis last year. Khalil Shakir was pretty good. Like, I think they could, if they expand his role, be decent. But do they just go after, like, a running back? Do they go after, say, a David Montgomery who can just be on the field for 3 downs versus, like, okay, I guess James Cook is in the game. We're probably doing an outside run or throwing to him, or Devin Singletary's in the game and he's running up the middle. Like, I'd rather have, like, if I'm a team like that I'm not going to overwork my back, right? They're going to be still a passing team and they're going to probably give their back 15 touches at the most. Like, have a back where at least you're not sure what the play is. You know what I mean? Like, I think some of those teams are pretty telegraphed. And I think the Eagles were a little bit like that too, because Miles Sanders – they're not going to throw to him because he caught very few passes. So do they go more versatile here going forward and go Kenneth Gainwell is the guy we want? Or do you see Miles Sanders fitting in Buffalo, just being a little bit better version of Singletary? So it's an interesting situation how much you want to invest in running back. I don't think you want to invest a lot, but you want one back that kind of fits your system. So the backs are a little bit more interesting. I mean, you look at the wide receivers. You have Jacoby Myers leading the list. I mean, that's not very enticing. So I think you're going to have to make a trade for either DeAndre Hopkins or Brandon Cooks to really put your team over the top. I think Hopkins you can put anywhere, and he's going to elevate that team. Cooks is another underrated guy. Like, everywhere he's gone, when he's been somewhat happy, he produces. And you can put him everywhere, and he'll catch passes. You can do gadget plays with him. So I think Brandon Cooks is a guy that I think more contenders should be aggressive about getting.
The two things about, first of all, how dare you say Miles Sanders to the Bills? I have Miles Sanders in so many dynasty teams, and if he goes from getting his touchdowns vultured by Jalen Hurts to getting them vultured by Josh Allen, I'm coming for you, Vinny, for putting that evil out into the world.
Whether you're in New York, Arizona, Atlantic City, Foxwood, he is finding you.
You'll see me shaking down Marcus Samuelson. Where is he?
I know. I'll talk to him.
Dude, Miles Sanders finds out he's going to Buffalo, I think he'll do that.
I think he would be fine with Miles Sanders would be fine with that. I'm not happy with it. And I will say that those two guys, DeAndre Hopkins and Brandon Cooks, they're very different players, but there's one thing they both do well, which is beat the jam. So Brandon Cooks has that speed where he can tether his foot to the line, get a guy right in his face, and then get around him, right? And if you have a guy like that can tether his foot to the line, then you have Dawson Knox on the other side. Now Stephon Diggs doesn't have to be the split end. He's free to line up off the line, go in motion, go all over the place. Like, that could really even further unlock Stephon Diggs, a guy who's already awesome. So I like the idea of them going out and getting that big split end.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe Davis, we hyped him in fantasy. I mean, he actually, if you look at it, he probably finished where people hyped him because he had those big touchdown games, right? But he was very inconsistent, didn't have high volume. He was better in a standard league. But yeah, I think overall he was disappointing to the Bills in reality because he wasn't that number 2 reliable outside guy. He had occasional big games, but he could disappear. So they need somebody maybe more consistent. I mean, I thought Shakir should have got some more chances, but it didn't happen. So maybe now with the Cole Beasley maybe officially gone for good this time, that they could give Shakir some time in the slot and he can make some plays there. But yeah, I don't know. Like the Bills just have to get their act together in these bigger games. It's just been, I don't know if they need a lot, but their window's closing pretty fast here. So that's my concern with them. But like, I wish the receivers were a little bit more enticing. It looks like the trade guys a lot more intriguing this year.
I mean, the second highest paid wide receiver on the team after Diggs is Isaiah McKenzie, right? Like these, not only are these other guys on like rookie deals mostly, but like Gabe Davis is what, 4th, 5th round pick. Same with Shakir. Like they can, I mean, at the position, they can afford to go out and maybe spend up a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, what do you guys think, JL, Simon? You think they should make a move?
The idea of Nuke to the Bills is wildly exciting to me. That's where I've been sitting, just loading up that offense a little bit more with another weapon for Josh Allen. But Vinny, you bringing up Brandon Cooks. I hadn't really thought about how good of an asset he can probably be to another team. But you're right. Every team he's ended up on, and it's been a lot the past couple of years, he just shows up and does work until he doesn't want to be there anymore.
He also needs to set the record for being traded. So
yeah, he
traded all the time.
Dude's been moving all over the country. He's got friends in every city at this point.
It's crazy. I don't know if any player's ever been traded that many times before age 30. Also.
I wonder if you measure the miles, like how, like, because it's been kind of crazy. Like he was in New England, he was in New Orleans, he was in Los Angeles, he was in Houston. Now he's potentially like, well, what if he goes to Buffalo? Up and like the miles that man has moved. Holy cow.
You know who changed teams a lot? Another wide receiver was. You remember Brandon Lloyd, Vinny?
Yeah, I remember him. He was all over the place.
All over. But the thing is, he would every once in a while he would just make this.
Yeah, he had the Patriots good season there. One good season.
He had a good season with us. And with the Broncos, I remember him making some crazy catches and just being like, "What the heck? Why is this guy a star?"
That's it.
Yeah.
You just switch teams.
Once your name's Brandon, they just like get him out. Get him out.
Vinny, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us for a little bit today. Hopefully you enjoyed your trip to New York. And
you for next week. Put in the hopper. We'll play it next week.
You gave us a little reprieve. You didn't like lower my self-esteem by kicking my ass at a game at 7:30 a.m. So I appreciate that at least.
We'll get you about fancy chefs. So.
Tell Marcus Samuelson we said hello and enjoy the rest of your week, Vinny.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, give him some love here.
Will do. Talk to you later, Vinny. And guys, if you are not already following Vinny, go and follow him on Twitter right now at Vinny Iron. Check out his work over at sportingnews.com. That's where you can find all of his fantasy football and NFL articles. We're going to be right back with our friend Tim Wright to play some Fast Guy Quick Time and a little bit of Hypothetically. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network.
Front Yard Fantasy with Simon, JL, and Coop.
Sell me on doing away with the 2-conference system in the NFL.
Is it really a sale whenever this is something that's commonly agreed upon? I'm selling you on water being wet. I'm selling you on something that is objectively true right here. We look at teams at the end of the season and we go, how the hell does one team have such an easy schedule while another team is just absolutely getting obliterated? And that's because of the 2-conference system, because the division system feeds into this conference system. It's a symptom of the greater problem. Like these divisional matchups, you're telling me it's fair that the Buccaneers are in the playoffs after playing the Panthers twice, the Falcons twice, and the Saints twice this year? That is unbelievable. There are multiple more deserving teams every single year that because of this system where we silo them into random groups, it determines the order. And yes, originally this was geography based, right? We had these divisions, they were geography. It's 2023, my dudes. Geography doesn't matter whenever it comes to the size of the United States. These teams can travel anywhere. They don't need to geographically locate them in divisions or conferences to make the games make more sense. If USC can be in the Big Ten, why the hell can't Miami play San Francisco every year? It can happen. They've got more money than these colleges, and they're not taking classes. All it does is create an ecosystem where less talented teams can get rewarded for playing in weaker divisions, and more talented teams are punished for continuing to improve.
Damn, bro.
Drop the mic.
I like to picture some geography teacher out there just threw a pen on the ground. He was like, how dare you? He smacked the globe. He was like, what do you
all
mean?
the hard work we've done.
2023, geography doesn't matter, right? Smacks his
You know
globe.
how long it took for us to get respect?
Globe goes spinning around, right? Geography doesn't matter. How dare
I'm
you?
just imagining they ripped down the world map, and underneath is algebra 2. Like, they just go straight into being a math teacher.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Paper straws. Oh, they're so bad, Ray. I mean, I'm almost tempted to say screw Mother Earth. Give me a real straw. The paper straw thing is a step too far in saving the planet for me.
It's a great idea. The problem is it has to last. Like, it can't go mushy halfway through my drink.
That's
And
the
I think
problem.
That's the problem. They have a hard time standing up if you don't drink that.
100%. That's my issue, Ray. I'm all for taking care of the only planet we got. But, Ray, some people like to drive a lot. I don't. I don't get on them for they have to drive 20 minutes to work every day. Can I just get a plastic straw? Like, I think, Ray, we should be able to pay for a card that says, I don't drive every day, so they said I could have this kind of environmental impact by getting a plastic straw. I am in favor, Ray, of government-issued plastic straws if I have the proof that I'm worthy of such a thing. If you want it, you get it. It's kind of like the Clear Pass. You know,
Yeah,
at the
there you go.
airport.
Okay.
Like, Ray, I'd be willing to pay an extra $2 a year, and I get as many plastic straws as I want when I go out to the restaurant.
And the $2 goes toward cleaning the oceans or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's not a terrible idea. Not terrible.
Call, chat, enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Better Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports Network. Joining us right now is the ever sexy, always hairy, and so handsome guest, Tim Wright, to play some fast guy, quick time, and a little bit of hypothetically as well. I can only hope he's got a mustache and a tank top. Yes, he's got a mustache and a tank top.
What a guess. What a guess.
What's up, Tim? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Every single time I see that little pig dancing on the transition screen there, we got to learn that for the expo. We got to learn that dance and just like walk out. It's just random times. Yeah.
I'll start,
electric.
Start getting into shape now.
Yeah, it's just got to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah.
I will
It's
say,
like-
as of the last poll, I was still Ani Koopy's favorite, but you've been climbing in the ranks, Tim.
Let's go.
You and she likes the rights,
everyone's
and,
favorite.
I gotta say, dude, she likes your swag, man. You've been climbing in the rankings, so I gotta step up my game. I gotta watch my back.
I love that Jalen and I have not threatened at all.
Nah, you got me.
We're sitting us solidly down at 4 and 5.
Anytime I lose in the games, she doesn't even refer to you guys as a singular. She just is like those Clemson jerks.
And then Tim's the Clemson sweetheart.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're about to get into some fast guy quick time here. All of us are going to go. We got a series of rapid fire questions prepared for each and every one of us. John Luke, who's going first today?
I think Tim's gonna go first. No, I think I'm gonna go first.
Jail's going to go first. Okay, then Jail, I'm going to read you your questions. Are you ready?
I didn't know I was going
You played
first.
yourself.
Yeah. Dang it. I didn't know.
I know
this would be
it
the
comes as a
outcome.
surprise now. Your decisions have consequences. Guys, if you haven't played this game with us before, how it's going to work is I'm just going to throw questions over and over and over again at JL. His only job is to answer, and the only rule is to not think. First thing that comes to mind, say it. Are you ready, JL?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Name a city in Europe.
Baltimore.
What motivates you?
Passion.
Awkward thing to say in a public restroom.
Oh no.
What is your magician name?
The Great Bambini.
Who would be your magician's assistant?
Tim.
What would their name be?
The Little Bambini.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Because he was hurt.
Pick a new middle name.
Vladimir.
The sexiest geometric shape.
Rhombus.
A better name for McDonald's.
Burger King.
Best smelling celebrity.
Matthew McConaughey.
Worst place for a bachelor party.
My house.
Funniest dog breed.
Pomeranian.
The worst type of juice.
Pineapple.
What's your favorite plant?
Fern.
The worst food to eat naked.
Lettuce.
Very good, JL. Nice job, the great Bambini.
What's Baltimore, Europe like?
Oh, it is. It is not a nice place. Some call it the armpit of Europe.
Is it nicer than some call it the Baltimore of not a nice place would be the Baltimore.
You'd rather say the Baltimore of Europe.
Some call it the Baltimore of Europe. Do you actually not like pineapple juice?
No, I like pineapple juice.
I was gonna say pineapple juice is pretty good.
I just thought my first thought was apple juice, and I'm like, no, they're never gonna believe that. That's my favorite juice.
That's true.
Well, JV, John Vladimir. We are very glad you just played that game. Nice job, John Luke.
Thank you.
Well, I think since you went, maybe this is how we should do it. Whoever goes should get to pick who goes next.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that Tim joined the show today to go in my place, so I don't have to go. You know that I don't like this game. I'm not good at it. So Tim, I appreciate you taking my spot, so I didn't have to play.
That's so cool. I think you just volunteered to go next, Coop.
Sure feels like it.
I know I can't because Tim,
I think I choose.
Under the time constraints.
We'll go fast. You ready, Coop?
Yeah, quit time.
John Luke, you want to read them? You want me to feed them to him?
You got it.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Who's your favorite Lord of the Rings character?
Frodo.
What would your first thought be in a darkness retreat?
Frodo Baggins.
Place you would wage war for a tactical advantage.
Cape Cod.
If animals could talk, which would be the rudest?
Rooster.
Which sport would be more fun if everyone was drunk?
Hockey.
Which Shakespeare play is most like you?
Macbeth.
Who died and made you king?
Queen Elizabeth.
What's the most useless word?
Spindle.
A crazy bet you could make.
I bet Tim Wright won't shave his mustache on air.
Which Boston team is your least favorite?
The Revs.
What would be the most annoying part of being a grown-up?
Doing morning shows.
What's the moral of your story?
Pack light and eat McGriddles.
Beverage you drink to look classy.
Chocolate milk.
Food you would eat raw.
Tomato.
What's your professional wrestling name?
El Guajero.
El Guajero.
I don't even think that's a word.
I don't think it is either.
That's why it's perfect.
I truly hope that's not like a swear. If I just swore in Spanish, I apologize.
It's El Guajiro is a song by Kiko Loureiro, a brand of cigars, and a cocktail bar.
Hell yeah,
cool.
dude. That's perfect.
Cool.
Coop, nice job, my friend. Who's going next, Coop?
Well, since Tim was supposed to go for me, and then he did not, I say that Tim should go next.
Okay, Tim's going next. Tim, you know the rules?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're going to jump right into this. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
3, 2, 1. What's your least favorite sport?
Basketball.
Your go-to karaoke song?
Living on a prayer.
The worst song to have sex to?
Living on a prayer.
What word least described you?
What opposite of hairy?
What mythical creature would you be?
What was that one?
What mythical creature would you be?
Dragon, dude.
A fake job that would be sick as hell.
Dragon Rider, dude. Costume
you would wear to escape the feds.
Damn it, Dragon Rider.
What's your Disney princess name?
Skippity-doo Skittles.
You own a secret club. What's the password to get in? Would you rather be slapped with a fish or bologna?
With a fist or slapped with a fist?
With a fish or bologna.
A whole bologna's funny, dude.
Name a Christmas song written about you.
Little Harry Tim goes to Christmas Town.
Spam email you always open.
Spam email. Fresh apples here.
Worst date idea. Worst date idea.
Going to the movies in France.
Apples here.
Inaudible object you wish you could eat.
I missed that one. What?
Inedible object you wish you could eat.
This computer. It looks good.
And your most expensive mistake.
Oh God, Miami.
Well done, Tim.
Oh, great job.
I just, dude, I pictured you continuing to answer Dragon Rider for everything.
Dragon Rider.
You could have done 3 more straight.
Dragon Rider, dude.
Like, what's your password? Dragon Rider.
Free apples here.
Free apples.
In an email, and every time you see it, you're like, oh,
Son
shit,
of a-
free apples.
Son of a gun.
Got me again, dude.
It's so innocent. It's like, oh yeah, maybe this time.
Never
You're
gonna
not
get
falling
those
for the
free
print
apples.
scam or any of that nonsense. None of the let me buy your dresser, but I sent a little extra money. But free apples here. Oh, you better watch out. Tim loves an apple, especially if it's here.
Oh yeah,
Not over there. Those apples are no good.
Mhm.
Nice job, Tim.
Well done. All right, Sam, you're next.
Yeah, somehow with me asking every single person if they were go, now
they
I
were
will go.
And now you were go. You ready?
Oh God, man. Yeah, I guess it was. I had so much fun being on the other side, just having to throw the questions.
Yeah, it is the fun
Yeah,
role.
it's not fun. It is the funnest game until you have to do it.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right, Simon. Who's your celebrity crush?
Cara Delevingne.
Worst question to ask on a first date.
Are you a virgin?
What's the difference between sex and Kirk Cousins?
One involves a virgin.
Quick. Worst movie to watch with your mom.
Bruno.
Best time to make eye contact with a stranger.
Midnight.
How do you save face?
With a mask.
Worst food to put salt on.
Cereal.
Start a rumor about Aaron Rodgers.
Did you hear that Aaron Rodgers licks his dog's toe fungus?
Football player you trust to take out your dad.
Take out as in kill or take out as in on a date?
Quick.
Aaron Rodgers.
Happy or embarrassed to have on your phone.
Word puzzle.
TV show you watch to go to sleep.
Hardcore History. That's a podcast.
What hobby keeps you up all at night?
Board games.
What favorite thing to do with your hands?
Masturbate.
Band you say you listen to seem cool.
Green Day.
Who do you want to kiss you goodnight?
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Nice. Well done, Simon.
The cool band Green Day.
Green Day.
Ever heard of them?
I haven't actually listened to them, but I just want people to think
did
I
you guys
do.
hear? Simon listens to Green Day.
Wow,
Dang,
man.
what a cool dude. I wish I listened to Green Day.
Yeah, American Idiot. You may have heard of it.
Like you couldn't possibly make up a rumor about Aaron Rodgers that I wouldn't believe.
And also, Simon,
I
you get the achievement for asking the first clarification question in Fast Guy Quick Time.
Well, it
Which
really
is-
changed the answer.
I said-
Because I thought murder too.
Staunchly against the rules.
I thought take out to dinner. I didn't write this question, but that's what I thought when I read it.
I think you just got to answer
Take
whatever
out
your
to the
brain.
grocery store.
The thing is, you just got to answer whatever your brain thinks. So.
I mean, he'd probably do both too, though. So
Take him to the grocery store.
it's
and
a
then
good
kill
double
him.
answer.
Kill him by the
Yeah.
apples.
At least buy me dinner first.
And Dave said, to be fair, following Tim is impossible. Tim is so good at this game.
It's in your head.
It's unreal. Fresh apples here from Jay.
Fresh apples here.
Fresh apples,
Well, guys,
yeah.
now that we're warmed up, I think it's time to get into some hypothetically.
All right.
You ready
I
for
think it
that?
is. I think it is. All right, boys.
The
this
tabs
is-
that I have open whenever I'm like hanging out with you guys, especially when Tim comes on, it's just I get off the show and I look at the tabs I have open and I'm like, what is all this nonsense?
Dude, that happens to me all the time. Where I'll come back onto this computer later in the day, and I'm just like, what
the
was
hell
I doing?
was I looking at, dude?
I opened my computer this morning, and the only window open, I had one tab of Google Chrome with the question, did the South really have better generals during the Civil War? I think I had like seen an article or a TikTok, and I like came over to Google, and like that was just, I Googled it, saw the answer, and apparently went to bed and just forgot this morning until I woke up and opened my laptop. Like it was like one more thing before I shut this for the night.
Can't go to bed without knowing this bad boy.
All right, if this is your first time playing Hypothetically with us, this game is very simple. I'm going to pose a couple hypothetical questions, philosophical questions, hypothetical scenarios, would you rather type questions to these contestants. They have to answer me, and the only requirement is to overthink the response. So they'll be allowed to ask clarification questions before answering, and they just got to think through it to the last degree here. So let's get right into it. Boys, would you rather get a paper cut every time you turn a page, or bite your tongue every time you eat?
Easy for me, boys.
We have learned something
no
about
tongue.
Tim here. Tim, not an avid reader.
Yeah, dude, movies were invented so just to make print go archaic. There's no point. Like, we can see it now with, like, we don't have to imagine it now. It's
all of our work
books
is done
silly.
via video.
I mean, but the thing is, though, it's not just, you said anytime you turn a page, right?
Yeah. So like a menu.
Menus, yeah. There's
brochures.
What if I turn a new page in life? Do I get a paper cut when I turn
It
a
does
metaphorical
count.
page?
Yeah, you do.
Now, let's say there's some gray area foods. Like
But it also works on the other end too, with like eating metaphorical crow. You're gonna bite your tongue.
Oh,
Damn
no.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
So if you were to but let's say if I have a smoothie for breakfast, I'm not going to bite my tongue, right?
No, you're gonna bite your tongue. That's eating.
It doesn't say chew. It does say eat, and I don't think chewing is a necessity for eating.
So if I just have a glass of water, I bite my tongue.
Sure.
Well,
does it change your answer?
I think it does.
Then yeah.
Does just changing a page on a Kindle count?
Yes.
Oh no, that was going to be my loophole, Tim. You got
Dustin in here saying, "Stop going to fancy restaurants with multiple page menus. We all can't afford Cheesecake Factory every day." Restaurants do kind of go like this, from like cheap to fancy, like small menu. Then the middle has big menu, and then you get to fancy, and it's back down to small menu.
Every time I open a new web page, do I get a paper cut?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's
not turning a page though.
Do I get to pick what finger?
No.
It's just random.
Dave said Coop loves loopholes.
And it's not necessarily your finger every time. It just says paper cut.
Wow.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah.
This went from we really shouldn't ask questions, because this went from an easy one to much more
the whole
difficult
game.
one.
Okay, one more very important question. Does someone show up with a piece of paper, like, because it may not be from the thing, because you said it's not on your finger, and give you a paper cut, or does it just appear and you feel it?
It just appears.
Okay.
That's better. That would be torment.
You're always looking around.
There's the same motion. It's just like there's not some random dude coming up and doing it. It's just, but like the sensation and experience or whatever is the same.
Okay, it's not like the Grim Reaper coming around with a pice of paper instead of a scythe.
It's not like you look down, you're like, huh, I have a paper cut.
Oh, okay.
Now,
it's like, ow.
Let's talk degree of injury here. They're not all the same. Is it like randomized? Like sometimes I bite my tongue hard, sometimes I bite it just a little, or is it just the same bite every time?
Normal distribution.
Okay.
Oof.
But sometimes I will bite it hard, and sometimes it's just kind of a little bite.
Yeah.
Okay. And the same with the paper cut. Sometimes it's
same
a
with
little
paper
one.
cut.
Okay.
Are scrolls a workaround for the paper cut thing? Because you unroll them.
Yeah,
like, if I committed to like making sure everything I read was on it, like that's going to be difficult and expensive. But like, if I really wanted to read a book, could I like get it in scroll form? That way I could read it.
You can, but for the amount of time that you're scrolling, you're getting paper cuts. So, I'm sorry, not scrolling, like unraveling.
Okay,
Reading is out, boys. Finally.
Can I have somebody else do it for me? Like, could I sit
Sure.
back and have Tim, and then I don't get a paper
Yes.
cut? Ooh.
Okay,
I wouldn't do
so
that.
you just need enough money to hire a professional page turner, but that's going to be quite difficult.
As Jay Felicio points out, Bob Seeger might be available.
Don't listen to that song. You're not gonna like it.
Oh yeah, it's just all the
Every
whole
time
time.
you turn the page.
Gosh.
This question's all about the song.
Turn the page.
I haven't had a paper cut in probably 5 years, but I bit my tongue like yesterday. Like I'm a lot closer to biting my tongue every time I eat than getting a paper cut every time I turn the page. Even though like you have to eat, you don't necessarily have to turn as many pages. I think I'm taking the eating one. I think I'm just gonna bite my tongue and learn to enjoy the taste of blood with everything that I eat.
Oof.
Oh, God,
Dibs on that.
No-
Dibs on that
no
album.
thanks.
Dibs on that album name, dude.
Blood on everything I eat.
That would work too. I was gonna say, learn to enjoy the taste of blood.
Learn. we can break it up a couple different ways.
Yeah, part one.
The taste
part
of
two.
blood on everything.
Taste of blood on everything, dude. That does sound like that's a Holy Trinity song. I'm gonna go with the paper cut one, and I think that I think I have enough people in my corner that we can get away. I would just see if Auntie Coop, she's retired now. I'd see if she just wants to come over and hang out every day. I mean, honestly, I like when Auntie Coop comes over, so I'll see if she'll come over and turn some pages for me, click some web pages. The thing is, nobody can eat for me, so it's not like I could have somebody else eat and then I avoid the whole thing. I think I get away with not getting too many paper cuts just by having my wife and my Auntie Coop around. So I'm gonna go that way.
All right, you're going with the paper cut. Simon, you're taking the food. Tim, where are you going?
Yeah, mine's paper cut pretty easily. I eat
Paper
all
cuts.
the time.
Just
and-
never reading.
Yeah.
I eat all the time and I never read.
Yeah.
so American of you.
Just like God
Very
intended.
American.
Eat all the time and never leave. Yeah. That's the American way.
USA.
Amen.
USA.
All right, well done, guys. Let's get into our next prompt here. Would you rather wear wide receiver gloves your whole life or wear shoulder pads your whole life? Or wear producer Keith's dirty laundry your whole life?
Disgusting. What?
So the third option is basically a life of celibacy.
Well, maybe not.
If you can find someone with no sense of smell or vision.
Keith might like the smell of his own stench.
Yeah, Keith and Keith only are your options after this.
Like
you walk into a room and he goes, "Oh, something smells like me, baby." Anybody smell some Keith cooking?
Oh,
something smells good in here.
I think I would.
Waft
I think I would
Keith.
lose my absolute shit if I walked into a room and Keith turned to me and said that.
Yeah. So that one's way on the back burner. Now with the gloves, there's a lot of different gloves. I didn't know if you guys know, but I worked at a Model Sporting Goods for a summer, so kind of an expert on equipment.
That's humble
this
brag.
This one's kind of up my alley. Yeah,
Well,
the crazy thing about
wasn't hiring. Had to go Models.
Well, you got to work at Models first before you can get a chance.
When you walk in and ask for an application at Dick's, they're like, "Did you work at Models?"
You gotta have that on your resume.
Sorry.
You gotta, or you're ready for the big leagues, dude. Let's,
Gotta
and the
walk before you can
funny
run,
part
kid.
is I worked at Models, right? And I was like, and they were like, "Well, we gotta have you full time in the fall." And I was like, "Well, I'm an athlete, like that's why I work at Models." And they're like, "Oh, we can't have any athletes here," so immediately got fired for that because I had football practice. But the
this is a Models.
What do you think? This is a sports store?
We have athletes here, dude. Get out of here. Yeah, but what I did learn is that there's very different gloves for different situations. So like if it's raining, you need leather gloves. If it's nice out, you can wear synthetic gloves. If it's snowing, you need so there's different gloves. So do I get different gloves or is it just one pair of gloves forever? Okay.
One pair. I mean, like you can get different ones. Eventually, it'll probably wear out, but you
I
don't
wear-
have like you don't have like a closet full, like a walk-in closet full of wide receiver gloves you get to pick.
So
if they
Actually, maybe you do.
if they deteriorate, is my contract done?
No.
Have I satisfied the requirement? Like if it just whittles down to just these sweet wristbands.
No, because that would be too easy to do.
Yeah.
You could just like
So I have
cut
magical
it up.
regenerative gloves is what that's crazy.
Yeah.
Get
feel like-
shower with everything.
The one with the biggest plus is the gloves. Like there's negatives as well, but like yeah, sure,
Can't
it'll
use
be
your phone.
annoying that it's like sticking to things. It's hard to reach into your pocket. You can't use your phone, but also like you're gonna be less likely to drop your plate at dinner. You could be a really great waiter. Imagine like the bar tricks you could do if you were a mixologist and you're wearing wide receiver gloves. They just start wearing those. You don't even have to hold it. You're just like flipping shit around like this with everything
Basically
sticking to your
Spider-Man.
hands.
I love how you mixed can't use your phone in there as if that's an option at all. Like, as if that is a reasonable option. I just now won't use my phone. Or what do I have to get like a flip phone with the buttons on it?
You can use your phone. You just do it like this.
Speech to text.
Hey Siri, text JL.
Yeah, you have to
Say,
do all voice text.
Your butt looked cute today. Smiley face, winky face, heart emoji.
Yeah, that would be
Send.
I hope it sends.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what happens if like I don't know, like what if I get arrested and they have to fingerprint me? I'm just gonna get beat up.
They'll fingerprint you and put your gloves back on.
I guess that's fair then.
Well, your fingerprint
So they
would be-
can
time out.
come
Your
off.
fingerprint
They
would
can
not be at
come
the
off.
scene of the crime because you would have had your gloves on while committing the crime.
That's true. They would have never found you in the first place.
OJ.
Unless they found your hair or
The suspect is wearing football gloves.
And everyone would be like, I know that guy.
That's the football
I
glove.
know
They're the
exactly
exact guy
who
you're
it is.
talking. Yeah. They wouldn't
It
be hard
wasn't
to
me.
find.
So you're saying it was the other guy that wears football gloves on every day?
Now that I think of it, dude, you wouldn't be able to commit many crimes as a shoulder pad guy either. I think they'd find you pretty quick.
This
Dave
was
in the
either
chat.
Howie Mandel or Coop Fiasco. One of the two.
I'd just say
Toronto
there's so many
Dave in the
things
chat
with the
says shoulder pads so I could tackle my enemies.
you can tackle your enemies with just the gloves on too, though. Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, there's so many things that'd be brutally difficult with shoulder pads, like swimming. Terrible.
I
Shoulder
can swim
pads?
with shoulder pads.
Just don't
shoulder
do it.
pad swimming with shoulder pads is not happening.
Water slide.
Water
could water
slides would be better with shoulder pads.
It
You
really
have to
would.
s- you have to
Ballroom
sleep-
dancing.
You have to sleep with it on.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, your
That-
posture would
all
probably
three
be
options.
fantastic after a while.
True.
It'd just be like locked and loaded.
Which one do you think would
Whatever-
be easier to get into the club with?
And you could do this maneuver every time you're just standing there.
Oh, I love
Yeah, that's pretty.
that.
That's a cool look.
That's
That's
a
a
cool
cool
look.
Meat Mansion still stands around, stretching his shirt out like that.
Oh, that's
Sketches all of his collars are like
all of his
slightly-
shirts. You can like see
slightly
his
agape.
nipple in every single one of his shirts. Just like
He's such a meatball football dude that even at
Now-
worth like 33, he's just standing there like this, like at parties.
now, whenever you see him on his shirts, it's down here. He's just like holding it like this on the collar.
like slowly goes down.
It's a meathead move. Yeah.
Coop, I thought there were no redeeming qualities for the shoulder pads until you said that.
Jealous
And
of
now
that
I'm
one.
almost
Yeah.
in.
It is like that is the quintessential stand around move for football. All football practice, everyone just stands there like waiting to go in.
Think about how good a suit would look too. You get naturally extra broad shoulders. You could taper it down to your waist. So
you
you're
get
just-
shoulder
you're just
pads in
giving
your
yourself-
suit on top of the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
And some of the
This guy
shoulder
looks like
pads,
a mask.
the shoulder pads I'm picturing are the ones that I wore in high school, which were like absurd. But I was out there looking like Walter Payton. But now
People are
Like I'm picturing like the NFL ones that are actually like fit.
they're like nothing.
People are like,
now.
is that Lady Gaga on the red carpet? No, that's
You look
Tim.
at you look at Deshaun Jackson's shoulder pads. Like I don't even think he wears them. Like, I think he just like stuffs like some like tissue under there. So I think you could get away with that. I don't know. All right,
Plus,
All
you
right,
guys
where are you
ready
guys
to-
going on this one?
They have a free costume every Halloween. It's pretty sweet.
Coop asked a very important question that's determining where I'm going here. I'm taking the gloves. If I'm in line for the club, which I don't go too often though, I just put those gloves up. Quick juke, I'm in. And the guy's gonna go,
You're fast.
explosive, fast. You can run. And then
You
I'm
can
gonna be in the club.
Was that a mime or is that a 4-4 wide receiver?
Jonathan Gannon working at the club.
Exactly. He's got a side gig.
That's the bouncer of a club.
The bouncer looks you up and down.
Pee Wee Herman looking.
Yeah, I mean,
well done. Oh, so you're going with the gloves, Coop, or Tim? Where are you going on this next one?
I'm going shoulder pads. If I wear the gloves, I won't even be able to touch my newborn baby if I ever have one.
True.
You won't even be able to, you'll never
We
be
didn't
able
even consider that.
You didn't even consider that. Never be
Yeah.
able to feel anything again with my hands. That's brutal.
True.
Oh
Tim's
god,
just
that is
rubbing his
brutal.
mustache against his little baby. All right,
Yeah.
Coop, where are you going?
I'm going with the gloves, and it's just part of it is that my mind always goes back to, and I get this couldn't happen because I was wearing them all the time, but it goes back to when I got a serious sunburn when I was playing high school football, and I had like blisters, and then I had to put my shoulder pads over that, and how uncomfortably brutal that was. Give me the gloves. I can't be
You
wearing
wouldn't get
shoulder.
sunburn underneath it if you're wearing it all the time.
I know. I just my mind is already like shoulder pads are uncomfortable. So give me the gloves.
He's like, in case I go in with a sunburn.
And I guess I'll just have to when I do have my in case I go in, yeah. When I do have my newborn in August, I'll just have to rub it on Tim's mustache.
All of Coop's problems have been solved by wearing the device previously. The sunburn on the shoulders, the fingerprint at the crime scene. Just
Yeah, kind of funny. Yeah. I think I'll take both actually in that case.
Coop's like, give me all of them.
I'll take 2 and 3.
Honestly, if you're just wearing the
European
shoulder pads or just wearing the gloves, then people are like, "What are you doing?" But if you have both on, they're like, "Oh, he's a football player of some kind that just came from some sort of football."
He's like, give me Keith's clothes as well. It's like my wife's been getting jealous of all the attention I've been getting recently, so I'll throw Keith's shirt on top of the shoulder pads.
Yeah, I usually don't pick in these, but if I had to pick, I'd pick that sweet producer Keith Dirty Laundry. Give me that sweet.
Oh, I totally forgot that was an option. Oh. That was never
that
an
sweet
option.
stench of the
Never a
broken
real
baby.
option.
What does it smell like, JL?
Oh, cheese. Not nondescript cheese.
A pungent cheese.
What kind of cheese? General.
Strong but general.
Just your average.
Very distinct, yet unplaceable.
Imagine him bringing out a charcuterie board and presenting it to someone like that. Like, here we have just your average cheese. It is about run of the mill and is what you might expect from something called cheese.
When you're right, you're right.
I always
No further
pictured
questions.
I always pictured Keith's clothes smelling like the microphone from the very end of an open mic night, like just like the
with like 20 different comics spit on it.
Stale beer and garlic.
Keith smells like the combined spit of 20 different comics, cigarettes, beer, and vodka.
Exactly. You get it.
God, I need a candle of that. Beautiful.
Somebody hit up Gwyneth Paltrow. She's a candle.
All right,
lady, right?
I'll do that. Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah, get her
I
on the
got
phone.
you.
Yeah, real quick.
Guys, coming up, we've got our friend Eric Moody coming on to play some Texas Ranges with us. So, Tim, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and play Fast Guy, Quick Time, and some Hypothetically. We can have you back here next week.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, Tim.
Yep. See you, boys.
Right to me.
Free apples here.
Free
Guys,
apples
we are going to be
here.
right back with some more free apples. So
Free
stick
apples.
around. Moody coming on here to play some Texas Ranges with us right here on the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Better Sports.
Monday Night Rants with Edward Rouse on Better Sports Network.
Do you believe in the Madden curse? Do you think that's a real thing?
I did. Now, I don't think it's as big of a deal anymore, but it was a real thing for a solid 10, 15 years.
Yeah, it was Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson, Peyton Hillis.
Well, LT was never on the cover. I know that.
Was he
never
not?
on the cover.
I thought he was one. Okay, well, you do know all the covers of everything.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want, I could do this real quick. So Garrison Hurst is the first official Madden cover athlete, 1999. 2000, I believe they still put John Madden on the cover, and then 2001 is where it all started. So 2001, you have Eddie George. 2002, Dante Culpepper. 2003, Marshall Falk. 04, Michael Vick. 05, Ray Lewis, first defensive player on the cover.
Okay.
06, Donovan McNabb. 07, Sean Alexander.
Okay.
08, Vince Young. 09, Brett Favre.
Okay.
10 is a trick one because it's
No way you know.
and Larry Fitzgerald. 11, Drew Brees. 12, Peyton Hillis.
13, Calvin Johnson, I believe so.
You're right.
14.
No way you know it.
14, also a trick question.
Uh-huh.
I believe that's the Madden 25 cover, and it's Barry Sanders. Unless you got it for the new consoles, in which case Adrian Peterson
Oh my God.
was on the cover.
You're not cheating. You're not looking at.
Swear on my life. Swear on my life.
Okay, keep on going.
15, you have Richard Sherman.
Okay.
16, hold on. 16 is Odell Beckham.
Okay.
16. 17, now this is the one I get mixed up because 17 and 18 are back-to-back Patriots.
They are.
17, I think, is Gronk, and 18 is Brady.
You are correct.
19 is Antonio Brown.
Correct.
20, Patrick Mahomes.
My goodness.
21, Lamar Jackson. 22, Brady Mahomes. 23, John Madden. But yeah, dude, I'm a cover nerd when it comes to this stuff.
We now know, but that was really impressive. I don't know how.
Thank you.
That's literally 29 of them or something like that. Wow, that is. You did not miss a single one, and you even got the special editions where they had 2 people on the covers.
Monday Night Rants on Better Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Joining us right now, we have our great friend and very special guest, Eric Moody, joining the show. For those of you that do not know Moody, he is now an analyst writing about the NFL, NBA, and WNBA over at ESPN. Moody, thanks so much for joining us today, my friend.
Moody!
Yeah, not a problem. Hey, happy to be here, fully caffeinated, ready to rock and roll. So let's go, gentlemen. But how are things in your world?
I am not caffeinated right now, Moody, because my coffee maker broke.
Oh no, that's bad.
I know it's
You
leaking.
better get on Amazon right now, John Lou.
I know, but we talked about this on the show before. I get analysis paralysis when it comes to buying stuff like this. Like I want to get the best thing, and I don't have the time to research it.
I was gonna say you could just get an interim coffee maker. The like cheap coffee makers are practically free. Big Coffee must.
What I have right now.
I was looking at them and they're like $10.
Exactly.
How are you doing, Moody? How's the season for you? Did you enjoy the Super Bowl?
Yeah, the Super Bowl was great. I would say the only thing that I wasn't thrilled about was how the game ended. You never like a penalty where people are bantering back and forth on the ending. But I am a little disappointed that the Philadelphia Eagles did not win. My recommendation was to bet on them on the money line. So was disappointed with that. But the player prop recommendations for Travis Kelce, Devontae Smith, all those other things went well. But I was really pulling for the Eagles there. But, hey, things happen.
I thought Jalen Hurts was going to get his. He did everything he could to get his. That man was on a mission in that game.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that, Moody, because I did see your tweet and I did bet the family farm on the Eagles. Now my kids are eating cat food and wearing newspapers on their feet to school. So
using Tim's mustache for warmth.
Oh wow!
So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
See that is part of the risk. When you make betting recommendations, you may have some people that lose their house, everything, 401k, everything. So I'm going to help you out there. Can we get a GoFundMe or something for him on that?
For Coop, yeah.
Just keep my name off of it.
I'll tell you what. Here's the thing though, Moody, and this is why I'm willing to make fantasy football pick recommendations, bet recommendations. It's the same reason that I'm willing to make beer recommendations. If somebody asked me what my favorite beer is, what my favorite bourbon is, like I'm giving you a recommendation on something that we all have been drilled into our head to enjoy responsibly, right? When I say, go try this IPA, I'm not saying, go drink 20 IPAs and hop in your car, right? And same thing goes with gambling. When I say, right, yeah, to anyone out there, don't do that, right? So same with gambling. When I say, hey, you know what? I kind of like betting the over/under 4.5 receptions for Daniel Bellinger. Like, I'm not saying go and cash out your Roth IRA and bet it on Daniel Bellinger, right? So that's to a certain degree you're absolved from that, unless you actually do say, hey, take everything and bet it on this guy, which I don't think you do. So that's my policy on that stuff.
Moody, we brought you on here today to play a game we're calling Texas Ranges,
Right.
and the chat is hyped to have you in here. Dave, and you're saying the people love Moody, and we got
Facts.
Jay with the Moody, one of the best. And that was Dustin with the Moody saying one of the best follows on Twitter.
Big
And I
facts.
couldn't agree more. Make sure you guys are following Moody if you haven't.
Truly
done
one
so
of the best in
already.
the business.
Eric and Moody over there on Twitter.
Yes.
John Luke, are you running Texas Ranges for us today?
As the resident Texan here, yeah, I am.
There we go. You're most
If this is
qualified.
your first time joining us for this game, it's pretty simple. I'm going to give these
Okay.
contestants a prompt asking for I'll give them a prompt, and the prompt is going to ask for a specific number. And so each contestant is going to have to give me a number range that they think encapsulates the actual number to the prompt. If the number is in the range, you will get points. Additionally, if you have the smallest range out of all the contestants, you will get even more points in this game. I forget the exact scoring point system.
One of the rules, if you got it.
Yeah. So, for instance, I'm going to give you a prompt. It's like, how many yards did Mark Andrews have in the 2022 regular season? So you guys each are going to give me a number range, maybe something like between 700 and 1200. So if the correct answer is in your range, you will get a point. And if your range is the smallest out of all the contestants, you'll get 3 points. However, if the range is larger than double the answer, then you will receive no points. So you can't go wide net here, 0 to 1,000,000. Not like you guys would ever try that, but you can't. Or you're going to get 0 points. And of course, contestants with the most points by the end of the game, the contestant will win. So pretty simple.
When this game was new, Moody, we might have tested the extent of the rules, and there are actually more rules now than when we first started playing. Surprisingly,
Yeah, we had to add mechanics.
Not anyone's
Let's add
fault.
some guardrails.
Not anyone's fault in particular.
Coop is the dream beta tester, is all I'll say. They
Yes.
would really love him as a game beta tester.
They really would.
I consider myself as a bit of a white hat. I go in and find some of the flaws in the code. But yeah, okay. So now we have rules they make a lot of sense.
All right, let's get into it. Your first prompt is, what's the circumference of a football?
Ooh.
And this is in inches.
Are we saying it out loud or writing it down?
You are saying it out loud, and I will record it.
Okay. Who's going
All right.
first?
So we're going to start here with Moody.
Circumference of a football.
And we're talking the Duke here, right? Like the official NFL football.
I believe so.
Wow. Okay. I guess I'll go with 20 to 30 inches.
20 to 30 inches.
Is that kind of it's my first time playing this game on here? I know I've played many.
That is a totally valid answer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll go with that.
Valid answer.
Trust me,
All
they're going to get even more impossible to guess. This is probably one of the more realistic ones to get.
Wow.
Simon,
you go ahead.
I'm trying to decide, because that was right around where I was thinking. If I want to try to eke Moody out and take a smaller range, but risk not getting it, he'll still get a point. I can try to get that 3, or just take a slightly bigger range. You know what? I feel pretty good about my guess. My logic is pretty good. So I'm going to say between, and I'm going to challenge Coop, between 22 and 26 inches.
Ooh.
22 and 26 inches.
Like it.
I think I might be able. I have a way that I'm going to try and get points here without you guys getting points. I think you guys might have gone too high on this.
Really?
I'm going to go with. I want my bottom number to be lower than 20. So I'm going to go 15 to. I'm going to go 15 to 25. That's mine.
15 to 25.
Okay.
All right, so we got Moody 20 to 30 inches, Simon 20 to 26, and Coop 15 to 25 on guessing the circumference of a football.
22 to 26 for me, just to be fair. I didn't say 20.
Okay, I have 22 to 26 written
Okay,
down. And we got some guesses in the chat. Friendly reminder, play along in the chat. We love it when you do. If you get it right and the contestants don't, you now own the show.
You're the king.
And the company that runs the show. So a lot at stake here. Dustin said 12 to 18 inches. And Kevin Frank said, nice to see you, Mr. Moody.
Hey, Kevin Frank, the
Good
legend.
to see you, Kevin. Good to
What's up,
see you.
Kevin?
Legend. Didn't we already give the show to Ryan Fitzpatrick earlier? It's gonna now we're gonna give
might
it to
have.
whoever gets it right in the
Okay,
chat.
you will have split custody with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
if
fair.
you get it right. All right, guys. The actual circumference of a football is 28 inches.
Oh,
Moody.
damn.
Moody's gonna get all 3 points.
Ringer.
on this
Right.
one. Because
Nice
Simon, you were
job,
just
Moody.
outside of it, 2 below. It's 28. The upper bound of your range is 26, and Coop is 25. So well done, Moody. Well done.
That's bigger than I thought.
Played that
That's big.
perfectly.
Yeah, first time. You've been secretly training
Hustle.
for this game.
Crafty
Moody.
devil.
Hustling us.
Did you watch that Fresh Prince episode where they go to the pool hall and Will gets hustled, and then Uncle Phil comes in and hustles the hustlers?
Didn't he say like, "Give me Lucille"? Was it Lucille?
Yeah, Jeffrey, give me Lucille.
Uncle Phil, such a gem. He is the actor. James Avery is sorely
So
missed.
good, sorely missed. Yeah, absolute legend, absolute legend. All right, well done on that one, Moody. You got 3 points, put you in the lead.
Came right in,
Dave-
came right in. Uncle Phil us right off the bat.
Came right in, Uncle Phil this.
Dave in the chat. My first thought was roughly 30, but now I'm going with 12 to 18. Damn it. The immediate regret. Like 20 seconds later.
All right, guys, let's get into our next prompt here. How many square feet is Russell Wilson's home? Simon, you're guessing first on this one.
Oh, I should know this exactly. I've watched those TikToks so many times.
And you were on the
that's
bathroom
funny.
tracker for the whole year, pretty much.
Yeah, there's two numbers in my head. There's 2 numbers I'm circling in my head, and I could do a range that encapsulates both of them. I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get on the board here. I'm going to go with 11,999 to 16,001.
Okay, one more time.
11,999 to 16,001.
16,001. Okay.
You can fit a lot of my houses in there. I'm gonna go with 16. I mean, the thing is, he is so super rich, and so is his wife, that it really is no upper limit on this number. I want to say that. God, dude. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go inside of your range, 12,000 to 14,000.
12K to 14K. Moody, what do you think here?
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, because I know it's a big deal whenever they're like Russell Wilson and Sierra's home, and just how massive it was. And we're assuming we're talking about they only have the one home in Denver, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of basing my answer on. I'm gonna go 18,000 square feet till about 25,000 square feet. So I just remember reading articles that this thing was massive.
That's huge.
So they have enough coin to actually afford a home that big. So that's what I'm going with. Go big or go home. It is Texas, right? Texas.
Texas
Rangers.
baby.
That's you get in the game, Moody. You
I
picked
like
up
it.
this game quick. 18,000 to 25,000. Simon said 11,999 to 16,001. Thank you for that, Simon. And Coop went with 12,000 to 14,000.
That was rude.
Payback for yesterday's
now
Jeopardy
that-
game with Dave Richard, I'm assuming.
Now that I've realized how annoying specific numbers are, you might see a couple more.
I can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. All right. We got some guesses in the chat. We got Dustin said 15,000 to 30,000. Pretty big range there. And then
Big
Dave
house,
said
yeah.
12,000. Well, you need an upper range or a lower range there, Dave.
Unless
just one
he's got real
Queen being it.
cojones.
He's pushing it.
He's saying
12,000.
I know.
Exactly.
So what if we just somehow know these obscure answers? Can we queen bee it? Is there
Yeah, make your range 1, then challenge someone.
Then
to
you
beat
get 3 points. Yeah.
You gotta do some sort of bonus.
We'll see. Well, the actual answer, how many square feet is Russell Wilson's home, is 20,060 square feet.
That's a
Moody,
big house. Moody
once again, you are the
dude.
only one
Massive.
who gave a range with the correct answer contained. So you
I'm like,
get 3 points.
You guys remember seeing like the pictures of that monstrosity? I'm like, it looked massive.
I never
I
saw
can't
it.
visualize
I never saw
square
it.
feet
Yeah.
for some
But
reason.
Now that I look at it, good lord, bro.
Yeah. They're obviously got the net worth to afford it. But yeah.
I'm with JL. Anything over like 10,000
2,000
square feet. If you show me a house, I'm like, I don't know, 50,000, 10,000, 30. Like it could be any of those numbers. Same thing with large groups of people. Like anything over 500 could be 1,000 or 50,000. I'm not really sure.
Exactly. I'm looking at this thing, man. You're counting jelly beans in the jar with this thing.
Jelly beans in the jar.
It's just not. You're not going to eyeball it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, jelly beans in the
Unless
jar.
you're Eric freaking Moody, and then you come in, you eyeball football, you eyeball Russell Wilson's home.
Yeah, I did real estate for like 10 years. If you show me a normal house, I could probably give you an idea. But this thing, is just not possible.
So Moody, you were in the lead with 6 points here. Simon and Coop, nothing. Risking the naked mile here if they get skunked.
Not again.
Yeah, house rules. Sorry, guys.
My neighborhood is not happy about the last time I got skunked.
Yeah, they do
There's
not
been
like
posters up.
Dainty Dutch boy runs around the neighborhood naked.
Wearing this nude Dutch boy.
Wearing football gloves.
wearing wide receivers.
All right.
People are fast. They can run. And Dustin would have gotten points on that one, but Moody, you would have gotten the 3 because you had the smallest range here.
Tighter
Well done.
range. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get into our next prompt here. Give Simon and Coop an opportunity to catch up. Your next question is, what's the distance between JL and Simon in miles?
I have
Oh,
looked this up.
So if you don't know, I'll level the playing field. Simon's in San Antonio. I'm in Baltimore. So what's the distance between Baltimore and San Antonio in miles?
Wow. Okay.
Who's going first?
Sorry. Coop, you were going first on this one.
Okay. Wow.
Forgot I needed to say something after that.
Okay. I'm going to go.
Okay, so if 1 inch equals 100 miles.
1 inch does not equal 100 miles.
Well, it depends on the map. The one I'm using, it does, JL.
Let's see. Amerigo Vespucci landed, and then you have
Dustin's asking as the crow flies. I'm assuming.
That's.
But this is a Keith prompt, so anything could go.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna cast a wide net here, with 1,500 miles to 2,500 miles.
1,500 to 2,500. Moody, what do you think the range is?
San Antonio to Baltimore.
Yes, sir.
San Antonio to Baltimore. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit higher. So I am going to go with 2,500 miles to 3,500 miles.
2,500 to 3,500. Simon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 1,600 to 2,000.
1,600 to 2,000. We got some guesses in the chat. Dustin said 1,200 to 1,500. Good guess. Good guess. The actual answer, the distance between San Antonio and Baltimore, JL and Simon in miles is
1,727.
1,641 miles. Simon, you had your range correctly contained the answer. Coop, yours did as well. Simon, yours was a smaller range, so you were going to get 3 points. Coop, you're just going to get 1 on this one.
No naked lap,
unfortunately, a little too high. Yeah, no naked lap.
No naked
Unless
lap.
you want to.
Unless you want to.
And now you can cover one thing with your 1 point. Choose carefully.
2 neighborhoods in Boston and San Antonio, respectively, just breathed a sigh of relief.
Except for that one guy who lives down the street.
Yeah, he's sigh of sadness.
Yeah,
disappointment.
he was so excited.
Dang it. All right. And Kevin in the chat with a late guess here said 1,000. Good guess.
A little more than
Good
that,
guess.
Kev.
A little more.
He's from
All
Canada.
right.
He's from Canada, so we'll cover
Honestly, it's a pretty
that.
good guess. Yeah. If you ask me the difference between 2 things in Canada,
no chance.
I'm gonna nail it.
Well, they mentioned things in snow miles as well.
We got a lot of Canadians in the chat today. Shout out Canada.
Shout out Canada. All right, guys, let's get into our next round here.
Let's do it.
Well done on that one. Prompt is amount of beer consumed by Americans during the Super Bowl, and the unit the unit of measurement here is in gallons.
Gallons.
How many gallons? How many gallons did you have during?
How many
the Super
gallons
Bowl?
of beer did Americans consume during the Super Bowl?
Wow.
I'll have 1 gallon, please. You know,
Gallons, okay,
I
so
did go buy
gallons.
like a gallon jug of beer the day of the Super Bowl. Like I bought a growler, went out and filled it up. It's like a gallon of beer.
Oh wow.
And let's see, Moody, you were going first on this one.
Yeah, I
So
was sitting there thinking. I'm thinking in ounces now. I'm like, how many ounces
How do I
are
convert?
in a?
1 inch is equal to 16 ounces, which is equal to 14 miles.
Okay, yeah, I'm just thinking. You got all these Super Bowl parties. You've got all these people, and so we're looking at in gallons. All right, I'm going to go big once again with this one, and hopefully I won't overshoot it like I did from San Antonio to Baltimore. So I'm thinking millions of gallons here. All the people, Super Bowl parties, consumption. So I'm going 25 million gallons to 35 million gallons. That's where I'm going.
That's
25 to 35 million gallons.
Yeah, lots of beer, lots of consumption.
What about you, Simon?
That is right around where I was thinking. And the fact that Moody said it makes me feel a little bit better because he's been pretty good at this game so far. I think I might go even a little bit higher. Like what the population of the US is around 300 million, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 350 million. Cut that in half for drinking age people, cut that down and leave a little bit more. But let's
subtract the losers.
I'm gonna go with 40 to 50 million.
40 to 50 million. All right, Coop, what do you think?
I'm thinking that I'm going to do a strategic play here. If I can be outside of the ranges of these, but get it right, then I could beat Simon, and then Simon will be last, and then I will not be last. So I'm going to go with a big range shy of what Moody did. So I'm going to do 15 million to 25 million.
15 million to 25 million. Well, the actual answer is way off from you guys. It's 325.5 million.
Oh
gallons.
My
What
God.
heck?
The
Dude,
amount
that's so
of
much-
beer.
Wow.
325 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
We should start a brewery.
So Moody, you are
Okay,
going to
all
win
right.
this. You're going to win this game at Texas Rangers. 6 to 3 to 1. Well done, my friend.
Wow,
Moody.
that was a lot. I'm thinking about that
That was
about
a
that
lot.
answer. I was like, I should have gone like a little bit higher. But quick story on this. You guys will get a kick out of this. The second you asked that question, I was sitting there thinking, because my first job out of college, I worked for a beer, wine, and spirits distributor as like a salesperson. And so I was kind of thinking back. I was like the times where I was able to sell the most product. 'Cause I worked for a company in New Orleans was like Mardi Gras, like Essence Fest, and also like Super Bowl. So I just remember those were the big like sales like holidays. But it was a little bit more than what I was expecting with that number. But you know, oh well.
Well, Moody, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us today. We are approaching the end of our show, but guys, if you're not following Moody, go and check him out on Twitter right now at
Do
Eric
it.
and Moody. And Moody, thank you so much, my friend. We will we'll catch up soon, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate you.
absolutely. Thanks for the invite.
Guys, that is going to be it for us today. We will be back on Monday morning from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. But until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy those XFL games. We'll see you bright and early Monday morning. Adios, everyone.
Is it?